Spin it around. Spin it around. We live. All right, everybody, what's going on? This be your boy Scotty by Nature TV,
Jamar 4.
and we're here for a new episode of the Prelude tonight. But tonight is basically a topic-driven episode with a couple of special. First of all, we're going to start it off with the person that started the conversation that's behind this, the one that's the reason that we're having this conversation. We're going to start off with Jackson, Mississippi's own, Messy Myles in the building, since he's the one that got the
Hi,
conversation started in the first
what's
place.
up, everybody?
Okay, what's going on?
Nothing much. I'm sitting
Okay,
over here eating Reese's Pieces, and I shouldn't be.
okay, next up is a long time YouTuber. She's one of my favorite people, as well as one of my panelists on my panel. Whether you like TV and gossip panel, and she's that New Orleans girl. Okay, let's bring Bondy Blue to the building. What's up, Bondy Blue?
What's up, y'all?
Okay,
We're here.
coming up next. One of my bros, who's also a part of my Whether You Like It or Not reality TV and gossip panel, and we got Josiah in the building.
What's up, you guys?
Live from the office.
Hey, live from the office to the Wi-Fi fix.
Okay.
You so stupid. Next up is Brandon from me, which is Detroit. We got our own Homo Tupac in the building.
What's going on, y'all? Hope y'all doing well.
And also next up is the one and only Conscious TV.
Hi. Thank you for
I
having
would say
me.
your real name, but I don't know. I would say your real
It's
name, but I don't know if you want me to say your real name or not. I ain't gonna say
it's
it.
Davion. Yes. Thanks for having me.
All right. No problem. Before anybody asks, giving you the real T, aka Terrance, will be a little bit late, and I'm guessing James will be a little bit late as well. Whenever he comes through, I'm gonna bring him on. So I'm gonna let you guys know that tonight's discussion will be led by the one and only Messy Myles because he is the catalyst behind this conversation. I'll just be moderating, and I'm gonna give the floor to Myles. So let's go ahead and get into it. I'm putting myself on mute till it's time for me to talk.
What's up, everybody? I just want to thank y'all so much for inviting me to you guys' platform to just speak my mind about this situation. Which basically, first of all, let me say all my social media is different. I think, Scotty, you follow me on Twitter, Instagram, we follow each other on Twitter, Instagram, and also Facebook. And I think all of it is different. You know, I'm like kind of more reserved on Facebook because my mama is my friend and my uncles and stuff like that. So, but I do use my Facebook to argue with a lot of white people on WLBT's website because I stay arguing with white folks and just anyway, that's a whole different subject. But I try to use that platform to reach out to some of like the straight people or some of my white friends if I have something to say. And this particular post, what sparked me to put this on my Facebook was a transgender woman was murdered here in Jackson. And Dominique Jackson, I think is what her name was. And under the post, under the news outlet, there were so many people being transphobic, and so many people being just nasty, mean, and just it was just crazy to me. But what the part for me that was just like the craziest was seeing so many black people, just misgender her purposely, just be nasty, have no compassion. Because at the end of the day, whether you agree with this person and what they do with their life, this is still somebody that died. This is somebody's family member. So for me, it was very disheartening to see a lot of black people just be nasty and just mean for no reason. And it made me get on my platform on Facebook and say, you know, one day we'll have the conversation how Black people treat the LGBT community exactly how racist white people treat us. And you know, for the most part, it was a lot of good feedback, but I did have some people who kind of, you know, disagree with what I said. And in no way, shape, or form was I saying, you know, the LGBT community, we've suffered the same amount of, you know, hurt and just anything dealing with racism, trauma. Thank you. But it was just for me when we're out, you know, marching, when we're out, you know, protesting for injustices, and you know, we are out here just still dealing with racism, still dealing with bigotry, especially for those of us who stay in the South. You know, I'm from Mississippi. I deal with this every day, you know, and for, as a community, as Black people, for us to, you know, be out here fighting for it, just for us to turn around and do the same thing to another group of people, it pisses me off, because how can you have these two situations that are parallel to each other, and we do the same thing that we're fighting for? So, you know, it was very, very disheartening to see that, and I want Black people to understand that you don't have to agree with anything that I do. I don't care, because at the end of the day, this is my life. But I just want Black people to understand that the same things that some of us that as gay people are fighting for, you know, is parallel to what Black people fight for when it comes to racism.
Baby. That's also been something that always confused me. I feel like I've asked this question on my social media before as well. It's like, how can you want to fight for the people, hands to the air, Black Lives Matter, all of that? That is great. But then after you get home from this Black Lives Matter movement, you go online and spread transphobic and homophobic slurs to people and feel it's justified and okay. I'm like, make it make sense. So you're okay with marginalizing this group of people, but you feel like, oh, can't nobody say that to me. I deserve rights. Don't judge me for the color of my skin, but you can judge them off their sexuality. Like, help me understand.
Okay, I got this. So to me, it's more profound than just that, because we know that there have always been gay people. There have always been gay people. There have always been, like, you know, differences when it comes to how we identify with gender, differences in what we find attractive. It's always been that way. But I think specifically with Black people, there's this, I can't be close to something else that's going to make people hate me more. And because people all over the world, whether they are Black or not, are homophobic to such a degree. And here in America, it might be different, but in other countries across the world, people are extremely homophobic. You know what I'm saying? So it's something that's already happening societal wise. I don't understand why, just because a relationship doesn't end in the result of children, that means that we have to like look at it as a less than relationship or something that we shouldn't be doing. Like, it's just foolishness. You know what I'm saying? But ultimately, I feel like Black people are always in a space of treating other people the way white people treat us, because they've taught us that. They've taught us how to hate ourselves. They've taught us how to engage in hateful activities with other people, and how other people act towards us, meaning like not even just Black people, but Mexican people and Asian people. The way they react to us is this same, well, I don't want to be close to that. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like people respond to the gayness in the same way, because we all know that the more outside of the societal norms you get, the harder it is for you to live, you know, your happy life without people always coming in and stopping or disrupting that. So I think, for one, Black people are trying to create a separation sometimes. And I also feel like the church thing, which I think is a brainwashing within itself. It's a brainwashing with the way we feel about ourselves as Black people, and it's a brainwashing in how we feel about each other and how we deal with people that don't fit into our boxes. So I think it's so many levels to this shit, but the bottom line is your life and what works for you doesn't always work for everybody else. So you don't then get to decide that somebody's life isn't as valuable because they don't fit into your box. That is what white people do. That's exactly what they do. And that's what they taught to us. And that is now what we do to each other in our subgroups. And how, like I said, outside people of color treat us. It's exhausting.
I have and that's a great breakdown, and it made me think of a question that, of course, you can respond, and everybody else can provide their take as well. Do you feel like within the Black community, we sort of like dabble the next generation with a little sense of homophobia as a means of protection? From like one of the first things that you said, how we don't want to associate them with any sort of additional weakness or anything that will make society look at them any further worse than they already do as a Black person. Like, let me sort of, I have a son, so let me sort of shove him in the direction of, don't touch other boys, don't be looked at as weak, don't do these girly things. Like, let me try to
play with
protect
dolls.
him. Let me try to put things in him so that I feel will protect him and make him get further in society. Do you feel like we do that? Not from a place of hate, but like, let me do this as a protection or a defense mechanism.
Yes, like hardening I feel like a lot of Black people go through that, like this hardening, like we're trying to prepare you for what the world is going to be like. But the truth of the matter is, inside my household, I don't need to be prepared for hate. I don't need to be prepared for that from you, because I'm going to get it anyway. When I'm a kid, I'm going to get it in school from somebody whose mama or daddy didn't teach them better. I don't need to get it at home. So for me, what this starts with is how people treat their own kids and their own family members, and also correcting people when they say ignorant shit. Because I think a lot of us allow ignorant shit to be said because we don't want to argue with people, or, we trying to respect our elders and all of this other shit. But the truth of the matter is, just because you're older doesn't mean you're smarter. And just because, I owe you respect as my elder does not mean I have to like go along with bullshit. So I think we have to like start correcting these behaviors. Like, I told one of my family members, because, she was worried about her son being in a hair salon all the time, because that's what the family does a lot. My mom, my sister, people do hair in my family. So you're worried about your son somehow being attracted to men because he's around women a lot. I had to like say to her, you do understand that's not how any of this works, right? But that's what they think. They think that seeing somebody be gay makes you gay. They think that watching, or having a boy play with dolls or like things that are considered feminine is going to make him sexually attracted to men. And I keep trying to explain, no, those not how those two things work. But even if they are, so what? You're not in the bedroom with them when they're having sex anyway. And it's 2021, which means being gay or trans or anything under that umbrella doesn't necessarily mean you're not going to get grandkids. Because a lot of like people also come from that standpoint of feeling like, well, you're not furthering my line. You're not, adding to the further of our family tree and all of this type of shit. But at the end of the day, sometimes people don't even have a choice in that shit. So getting upset about that is, futile.
And it's not about you.
Child, listen. If I gotta tell one more person my uterus ain't got nothing to do with them.
And you know what? You made a really great point, Bondy, because I think when it comes... I'm sorry, Scotty.
I'm trying to see who... Hold on, wait a minute. Wait. Jamar, did you give the link to Fro?
I didn't. He didn't respond to me if he wanted to come. Is he backstage?
Back in Ruffles. I don't know who the hell Ruffles is.
Oh, you know what? I sent that link to Tasha, my friend Tasha, Ruffle of the Day. That may be her. I thought that was the link for...
Oh.
Can you send me the link for where people can come in?
Like just to watch, or...
Yeah, just to watch. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. My bad. Go ahead. But Josiah, before you say anything, I just want to put out there that I played with dolls before, and baby, they was pissed when I was playing with that damn doll. Wait a minute. James just made it. Let's welcome James before we continue.
Sorry, Scotty.
Hey, hi.
Hey.
What's going on?
Hi.
It's the beat for me. It's
Man,
the
I
beat
would
for
have
me.
known, bitch.
It's the
Man,
beat
I
for
would
me.
have known, girl.
What, Jamar? Really?
Had I would have known that we was
And
about
had
to
I
be
would have
getting
known, I would have definitely just been Spiller Boy TV. I was coming to your house. Hanging with you, Jamar.
Had I would have known, I would have got dusted too, bitch.
Child, Jamar was too tired for all that today.
You're right. You are correct.
And nobody could have told me that you wouldn't have been painted. I was like, oh yeah, Jamar's gonna be painted, so I gotta go ahead and throw this on there.
It has to be a special day for that.
All right.
Jeez. But hey, it's good to see you.
Well,
You too, always.
well, I think who brought up the question? Was it Bondy or Jamar? The question that Josiah was about to ask, because I just want to make sure James know exactly where we are in the conversation.
I had posed the question, and she had given her take on it, and I had posed it to the whole group.
Okay.
Where basically, do we feel like Black people? And actually, well, as I posed the question, I want to address one of the comments that was highlighted. Do we as Black people sometimes sprinkle little bits and pieces of homophobia in our next generation as a means of protection or as a defense mechanism? Because we feel like they're going to already get all sorts of hate, in society as well. We don't want to have them be gay or show any sort of sign of weakness to get them further in society. And somebody said that every race does that, and it's not necessarily just Black people. But the only thing is, we're judged once we walk out the door. People who are lighter skin complexion may have less negative stereotypes assumed about them just by people outside of their race looking at them. Whereas they look at us, we're a danger, we're armed, we're a thug, we're going to rob them, we're going to shoot them, we're going to do all of these different. We're a menace to society just by existing with a darker hue of skin. So that's why I feel like it's something particular to Black people, because we have already these negative, viewpoint in society. We may try to sprinkle homophobia and these sense of hate and negativity to prevent them from getting viewed as further down the society totem pole. So is that healthy? Do we feel like that's the reason why they do it, or is it still coming from a place of hatred?
I think that it comes from a place of self-hatred, because you have to think of generational trauma. So when you have generational trauma, it's taught from generation to generation to generation about homosexuality, because let's be real, back in the slave days, it was taught that homosexuality was a sin from the white Americans. So that is kind of deep instilled, not necessarily safe hatred, but ignorance, because people are not really aware of their self-hate that they have for themselves. So it's definitely I feel like that is definitely a generational thing. And until we actually get that together and not look at, because listen, Black people is already a fight. Black women and the LGBT, like the whole community, the Black community is already under attack. So why bring more of that to the situation?
Agree. I think it's a yes and a no. I think it's a yes and a no. I think it's there's a lot of the whole, you got all this against you anyway, why that too? So there's a lot of that, you know what I mean? And there's good and there's bad in that. There's good and there's bad in that, because there are parents that are just don't want it at all, and there's parents that are afraid of it for their child. So that's why I say yes and no.
That's a good point. I agree with you.
For me, when Jamar mentioned, is it for protection? My mind automatically went to, I don't think it's for protection at all, because if we want to protect the kids or protect the generation, you would teach your children tolerance. You would teach them, okay, we're going to have people that are different from you. So for me, I don't feel like it comes from a place of protection. I think it comes from a place of don't nobody want a gay son or a gay daughter. Yes, you're black, and I feel like when people say, like when parents say, you're already black, you already got something. I feel like that's a cop out.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, because we are black, so we strong people already. This we already know this. So for me, if I can remember having conversations with friends like 7-8 years ago when they would say stupid shit like, oh, I knew this person was going to be gay because he was raised by a bunch of women. Like, what? Like, what? Like, it's so stupid. I hate when people say that. Like, now I call them, I'm like, so you mean tell me there's nobody in this world that was raised by women that's not gay? Like, sometimes we have to use our mind and our brain to understand and comprehend.
To actually break it down and think about what you're saying.
Think about what you're saying. Think about what you're saying. Think about it.
I've had that said about me, and literally there's two of us. I have a brother that's 3.5 years younger than me, and we are complete opposites, raised in that same house. He is my absolute opposite. So, but I've had people say that, oh, it's because all the women, he was around them same women.
Mm-hmm.
He was around them same women.
That's so ridiculous to me. But I wanted to draw this reference because I talked about this before. Like, I don't know if y'all have ever watched Lovecraft Country, but on Lovecraft Country, y'all know Montrose is the father and he's gay. He's secretly gay at the beginning of the show, but he basically beat the brakes off his son every day of his son's life because he basically was beating the gay out of his son. His son's not even gay, but this is what was done to him. So for him, that was the only way he knew how to raise his son because that's how he was raised. And when Tick realizes that his dad is gay, he gets so upset because he realizes, I thought you were beating me to protect me. I thought you were beating me because I was going out into this world with these white people that was going to beat me. I thought you were protecting me. But now I realize that you were harming me because of your own shit, because you're gay. So whenever you're doing something to me, it's what you actually want to do to yourself because of what you've been taught about yourself. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like that's a perfect example sometimes of how the parents don't really realize what they're doing because it's something so embedded in who they are that, like you said, Myles, they don't really think about, like, so are you still gay? Did the beating actually change you being gay? No, it didn't. But for some reason you feel like that's the way to go about it just because it is what you were taught. And a lot of people have to get out of just because I was taught something, I need to believe that. And people don't like to do that. Just like you got people voting Republican, you're poor, honey. Like, why are you voting that way? You're poor, So, but it's a learned behavior. It's what somebody taught you that you should do. So now, without thinking for yourself, without actually breaking the shit down, you're going to adapt that same energy. And also, I can remember coming out to my mom in high school before I actually said it to her. There was a while where it was this back and forth thing. And she say shit to me I'm not raising no lesbian and all of this shit. Now, eventually, this is the same person that made it so that I would be able to see my girlfriend when my daddy, was like, she better not be around there. My mama made a way still for me to be able to go see my girlfriend and do things with her and all of that when my dad was trying to put the blocks on it. But she still had a hard time with it because it wasn't something that she ever felt. So because she had never felt attraction to women, she felt like it was a separation from her that I was attracted to women. So I think another thing is parents having to get out of the mindset of your kids being little mini yous. No, you create people to be their own people. They'll be like you in other ways. But what I used to always explain to people is even if somebody is straight, you're not in the bed with them and you never get to choose their partner. So it doesn't even matter, and it's not something that you should concern yourself with. Because if the person was straight and they had a man or a woman or whatever, but then you wouldn't even really be worrying about it. But because they're gay, you're gonna you're gonna carry the shit out of this situation, basically. So I want us to, especially younger people, because I'm in New Orleans. I grew up in New Orleans. People are still very ignorant here. People still say ignorant shit. People still, I hang with the gay. Like, I've even had conversations with my cousin when I'm like, you know what you sound like, right? You know what you sound like, right? Now, there's somebody that's intelligent. So he'll be like, yeah, I feel like when I, as I'm getting older, I'm just getting, like, it's almost like as people get older, they get less tolerant. Like, I don't know what that's about. I've even noticed it with white people, but I still be like, no, you don't get to get old and then become an asshole. So I keep checking them about it. I don't give a fuck. I'm keep checking you about this shit. You ain't about to be like that sitting in front of me. You ain't about to say no shit like that sitting in front of me. Okay, child, y'all know I'm always the one in real life. I'm that person. That's why they don't invite me nowhere, because I swear, don't say no dumb shit in front of me. You're not gonna get away with it. Yeah. So, check these people. That's another thing. Respectfully, but check these people, man.
You don't have to be respectful when you check them either.
Yeah, you don't.
I just mean like your old ass MPs that don't really mean no harm, but won't call you a fairy and shit. Y'all know what I'm saying.
I be trying.
Yeah.
I be trying. You know my mouth was
you mentioned the Oh yeah, we know. Oh, we know.
But you know what though? I want to say, like, for instance, like with my mom, I said that, but like I've seen my mom actively trying to change how she handles people and how she view things. So for instance, we'll go out to eat and let somebody that's obviously gay come to the table as our waitress. She'll be like, oh, your hair's so nice. Like, instantly want to give them a compliment so that they know that she doesn't feel that way towards them. Because as a Black woman, she understands what that feeling is. So once, she's, attached my child being like this, now I can't really go about my life treating people or acting a certain way because my child is like this and I love my child. And also my mom is my friend. You know what I'm saying? So she is not the type of person to hate somebody anyway, but I've actively seen her trying to like correct how she says things and, change how she views people, like they still use like sissified. They say shit like that. You know what I'm saying? They're old though, but they don't mean any harm. So that's what I meant. But I definitely want to say, shout out to my mama for trying to change, because my mama like 60 something years old, and I do appreciate it because it was a hard road.
Yeah. But I also think
when I
Go ahead.
I know I'm gonna let you go after, but I know since you mentioned the coming out thing, I know that when I came out to my mom, it wasn't easy, and it's like again, we're all like we're me, Bondy, and Myles are, and I think Josiah is too. We're all from the South. Me and Myles from the same damn area, so he understands. But it's like
I am not
for
from
me
your area.
when I came out to Bitch, Jackson and all of that is the same shit. Let's not start that, okay? But anyway, so when I came out to my mom, it was like she had this reaction to it. It wasn't the most positive reaction, but I think that after she came around, she explained to me why it was the way it was. And being that she grew up in the 70s, back then it was a horrible thing to be gay, as it was mentioned earlier. And she mentioned that she had an uncle that was gay, and they sent him to a mental institute because he was gay. Like, sent him to a mental institute. Like, so if you're growing up seeing shit like that, of course you're gonna be closed minded if your son or anybody else comes out and say that they're gay. So after she told me that, yeah, and she saw the backlash that her uncle got, so she obviously didn't want me to have the same backlash due to the fact that her uncle had that. So it's kind of like, okay, I understand where she was coming from with that. It made me understand it just a little bit better because that side of my family, they're very Christian and educated and all this stuff. But my daddy's side, which I probably take more from that side, is very ratchet, open. Everybody just about in that side of the family gay anyway, so it don't matter. But on my mom's side, it's kind of like, they're all Christian fied and all of this other stuff. So of course they wasn't gonna see it like that. And just like Bondy said, I still have people on my mom's side of the family that still say, "Oh, he gonna be a sissy." Oh yeah, he a sissy. Oh yeah, I didn't know he was a sissy. Like they use that, so I get it. So I wanted to say that because I want to piggyback on Bundy because I lived through that too. I hear them say that a lot, especially the older ones. Brandon and Conscious TV, y'all can go ahead. I'm going back on mute.
Um, for me, I think it's really, and I think us as individuals in the community are starting to really understand this. It's a level of freedom that you walk in that makes other people feel uncomfortable, especially being Black, because we're still trying to free ourselves mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. So when you're Black, and then on top of that, you're gay or trans, you get what I'm saying? Then all of a sudden, it's like, why would you do that? But if you stand in that, it's like, how dare you be free? How dare you be free when I'm trying to be free? But that's the thing. If you actually free your mind, what happens? The rest will follow. And even like with Bondy, with her situation with her mom, Scotty, with his mom, even with my situation, I'm pretty sure a lot of us have situations with our parents that we've dealt with in reference to our sexuality. But it was the love. It was the love of, I don't know what's going on right now, but I'm willing to love you enough to go through this journey. Because as much as they're trying to accept us, we have to also give them a chance to learn, because they have to unlearn all these things. And I do feel like it is from a standpoint of protection, because I mean, your parents want to protect you from the world. They want to protect you from hell. If your parents religious, like they want to protect you from these things. But like Bondy said, when you give birth to a child, that child is made in your image, maybe physically, but that is another soul coming into this world having their own unique experience. Your job is to be able to help train them up in the way that they should go, so that when they leave, you get what I'm saying? They won't depart far from what you taught them. So do it in love. And we got a lot of work to do. We got a lot of work to do. Sorry.
Listen, listen. This comment right here, bitch. Let me just say this. I ain't gonna put the family member out because I don't do that to my family members. I talk about y'all, and unless somebody know us, they know. But okay, I had a family member that told me that they would much, when I told her, I relied on her as somebody I talked to. So when I told her that I liked girls, she told me at 14 that she would have much rathered me be pregnant than to be gay. Fast forward a couple, like maybe 10 plus years in the future, your baby daddy is doing suspect shit with the teenage family members, okay, at a get together. Everybody else, for the most part, ostracizes him. But over time, I start to hear about how he's still invited to shit. And you know what? That's her daddy. So da 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 da. And I was just like, oh, word. Like the mindset that, first of all, you are okay with me ruining my life at 14 and being pregnant instead of liking girls. Like at the end of the day, like I'm bisexual. I ended up marrying a man, but bitch, if we don't make it, you don't know what girl I might be eating out next week. Nothing has changed. Okay. My life, you know, like I'm just saying, I'm just putting it out there that just because I married a man, that does not change the fact that I'm attracted to women. And I tell people that all the time because they somehow think because I married a man that, you know, oh, you must not still. No, 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 no. He's special. He's lucky. I think about bitches all the time. You know, that aside, but like I couldn't fathom how you will let certain things go that to me seem so unsafe. But God forbid Brittany be attracted to women as well. I'm highly successful, so that has done nothing to ruin my life. But having a baby at 14, bitch, I'd have been ruined. But you know, go ahead on.
Go ahead, Conscious TV.
So I think that the dice is loaded. The dice is loaded in this conversation. There's so much shit that got said that triggers me the fuck up. But I want to start with a comment within the stream by Debo. I think he was saying something to the extent of what the hell did he say? Debo said something to the extent of Black queer men are treated much better in our society today. I want to make the distinction that we have to be clear that the way that we see LGBT celebrities paraded around is not indicative of what everyday common LGBT queer people on the spectrum are going through. Anytime you want to understand how a community is impacted, you need to talk to who's at the bottom. Okay, that's never who's at the top. So we have a T.S. Madison's, we have RuPaul, we have Laverne Cox. None of these people are living within the hood. None of these people live within urban communities. They are separated from pain, violence, and explicit discrimination because of their proximity to wealth, their proximity to the industry, to their fame also protects and shields them as well. So I just want to make that clear. As it relates to straight people, so my whole take on straight people is I consider all straight people, that includes those who are pro-LGBT, as recovering homophobes, because you simply exist and live within a society that conditions and programs you to be homophobic. And if you talk to most, even the most progressive cis hetero individual, you will find their homophobia within their ideology, and particularly when it comes to children. Lots of so-called, I don't care, be who you want to be, I love all people. It's until a queer affection is in public spaces and now you're concerned about the children. It's until gay cartoon characters are now within the spectrum and now we're concerned about the children, and all of the straight people don't want to acknowledge it is an expression and manifestation of that homophobia, because religion, all these things have been used, okay, to create this psychology. But when we talk about why Black people are tough on queer people, we gotta also go way back to the beginning. Black people are never going to be able to accept homosexuality until the issue of racism is healed. And the reason why those things are synonymous to one another is because you have to understand that when Blacks were imported into this country, what they saw of homosexuality was not consensual between man and man. What they saw was the slave master bucking and breaking Black men in front of their peers, in front of their wives, in front of their children. And then the church came into place as an aid to soothe the Black community about this injustice and the sexual assault that was happening to Black men. But then when we got our slave papers and society became a bit more civilized, the Black community nor the church recovered. And so they still have in their psychology that there's something insidious about the LGBT community. There's something insidious about same-sex attraction because of the issue of slavery and a slave mentality and us never going back and clearing and cleaning it up. And so racism and homosexuality, they're almost married together at this point. I don't think that we will be able to clean up homophobia within the Black community until we clean up the pain and the injustice of slavery and all that gave birth to, from white patriarchal capitalism to sexism to toxic masculinity. Everything that the Black community that's imploding and collapsing upon the Black community is due to racism. We are looking currently at a community of mutilated, deformed people. That's the Black people we have today. We're still trapped within that hurt, within that pain, that intergenerational transference of pain. And our nation is completely disinterested in rectifying what has been done to Black people. So Black people have been on their own with their pain. Black people have been on their own with their trauma. So of course, we're killing each other up. So of course, we're sexist as fuck. Of course. And a lot of that, keeping your foot on women's neck, keeping your foot on queer people's neck, is a way for the Black community to attempt to have some power within a system that they're powerless in. So you assume power by taking power from someone else so that you can feel secure and feel complete. So when I say that the dice are motherfucking loaded, the dice are motherfucking loaded as it relates to this issue of homosexuality in the Black community. And before I end, I just want to speak to DeBo because now I remember what he said. He also said that, you know what? I just fucking forgot it again. So I'm just going to end right there. I
was trying to hear what the motherfucker said.
Right.
DeBo,
Listen, I just want to say you better motherfucking preach.
Okay.
With this red swoop. I want to push this laptop over.
It's been a help for me the whole time.
Me
It's
too.
been a swoop for me
I
the
wanted to
whole
push this
time.
laptop over the way you was preaching just now.
That show is what that is. They definitely.
Yes.
It's kind of what Bondy said. The reason why like I beat my son, he didn't got nothing to do with it, is because I was beaten, and so it's like you feel like I have to assert some control. I have to feel like I have some proximity to that privilege, that power, and so I'm gonna take it out on a community that I feel like I have some sort of power on, which is why Black men view Black women a certain way. They view the entire, and you know what? Black women are, like, I guess, in the societal, pole or pair, whatever order you want to put it in, are the only, like the LGBT people. And somebody can agree, disagree if they feel like LGBT people are the only group of people that a cis heteronormative Black woman feel like she has some sort of reign over in society. Whereas, like, well, at least I'm straight. I've seen that as a means of attack, or they're weaponized their hetero, sexuality as a means of an attack on the LGBT community as well, which is why gay people and Black women sometimes don't get along, because the whole, like, even if you take Milan, like some Black people will look at Milan and be like, this is an attack on women.
Why?
I would have to disagree with that, because I feel like Black women and like bisexual, gay, trans, bisexual, gay, Black men has something in common, because we are at the bottom of the totem pole, unfortunately. But I think when it comes to cis heterosexual Black men, that's when the issue comes, because they feel like that they are more superior than the LGBTQ community, the Black LGBT.
I'm gonna say this, that as a Black woman that has been around gay men my entire life, really, school on up, my experience has been that sometimes y'all come at us with hella vitriol, hella negativity, and it's not always like warranted. There are Black women that come at y'all neck. There are Black women that say cruel and mean things and shit like that. Don't get me wrong. But I also feel like in the same way that Black women may go at gay people, I feel like gay men go at Black women in the same way because of whatever issue. Because you're mad at your mom, because some other Black lady treated you like shit along the way. So now your attitude towards a lot of Black women is aggression. And what I would like for people to remember is that no matter how you feel about yourself, you still physically are stronger, and like a lot of times, like I've been into it with, I got jumped by a whole bunch of gay dudes one time. Like, let me just say that, okay? They didn't know me, but they knew I got into it with their friend. And so me and the girl are fighting, they jumped in the fight. And these were like some tall, I'm sorry, but come on. Like, I'm not going to say you are not a dude when you're towering over me. I'm 5'2". You're like 6 feet tall, 5'9", 5'10", because it was a couple of them. Like, it was a few of them that just pop, 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 and I went down. Okay, like I went down. If the police had not rolled past, then they would not have stopped. But the police rolled past, so then everybody jumps off me. But they jumped me. So in my mind, like at the same time, like, I don't know you. I've never done anything to you. Why are you jumping me? You know what I'm saying? And so there have been other, instances where there's been like extra aggression in the way I'm being talked to and all of that. And listen, I'm one of them bitches. I'm going to get with you. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not acting like I'm always innocent in a situation, but I'm just saying I have felt that aggression, and I am grateful for the relationships that I have with other LGBT Black, you know, men, however you want to like frame that, you know, gender, whatever. I just want to say that I've had relationships with them that made me feel like, okay, this is not everybody. Because for a minute, a lot of the young gay men that I would come into contact with, they come from the hood. They, you know, go to school with me, but their house, you know, situations aren't always the best. People don't always receive them the best. So they're on go, they're on defense, they're on ready. And so any little thing can sometimes turn into a confrontation. So I just want to say that I feel like sometimes that goes both ways. And so I have reactions to certain things because of my experiences, just like I'm sure there are some gay men that would have reactions to, you know, some negative Black women. And so they interact with me and other Black women because of that. So I think that's something that we don't really talk about in reality. You know what I'm saying? We just are like, Black women don't like gay men, or Black women make it hard for gay men, or gay men, you know, come at Black women because they jealous. Like, you know, we just say these things and we don't really think about where it's coming from on a case by case basis.
I agree.
Okay, so I can piggyback off what you said. I understand where you're coming from when it comes down to like the gay men coming at you with such aggression, because I mean I'm on the flip side of it. I've stated publicly many times that I was bullied in school. It wasn't just straight males bullying me, it was also females bullying me as well. You know what I mean? Like I've had females come at me very aggressive because they felt as though I was soft. They came at me aggressive because they already thought I was gay anyway. And being that back then, if you're gay, you soft. You know, you a bitch. You're not hard. You know, so I can just walk up on you and fuck you up if I really want to. I even had a girl hit me, and when I hit her back and beat her ass, then I was the issue. So you know, it's kind of like, you know, I get it. I get it from your standpoint because I've been on the receiving end on the other side. I've had situations with women like just maybe 7 years ago, a woman ran up on me at my job. She tried to just because she thought I wanted to fuck her man. I mean, it was
Okay.
crazy. So you know,
I was just about to comment on that. Listen, my mom growing up, my mom said one of her main issues and why because she had a gay male friend when she was like younger, before she got married. And she realized he was fucking everybody's husband in the apartment complex. So when Terrance says that shit and jokes about that, I kind of be dying laughing on the inside. But like that's one of the reasons why she was like, see, I can't deal with all of that. And that creates this separation. But that man really was out here fucking the landlady husband. So when y'all be joking about that, I be like, y'all joking, but y'all know y'all be out here doing that shit now.
well, listen, I wasn't fucking her man, okay? I was only friends with her
Not
man.
you.
I had never seen her man. I
Not
had never
you.
seen her man naked or nothing like that. I never ever tried to fuck her man. Now, if I
Terrance need to
wanted
come
to,
over here
I
because
would.
Terrance always talking about fucking somebody, man, bitch. Where's Terrance?
I
Tried
did
to
have.
invite me. She stalked me. All of that other stuff. So it's kind of like I've been on the receiving end where women have felt as though they can come at me crazy. Like she even said, "You a pussy, you a pussy," all this other stuff, and I'm just like, okay, now if I hit you for hitting me with this umbrella, then I'm gonna be the bad guy. So just leave me alone. Okay, like I walked away from many women on many occasions because they tried to fight me over something crazy. Or she'll say, "You just mad because you ain't me. You mad because you're not a woman." I don't want to be a woman. Okay, so let's
Keep
just
your
make
hands
that
to
clear.
yourself,
So you know,
bitch.
yeah. So you know, but at the same time, I never, I never, I never agree with a man regardless of what their sexual orientation is, to put their hands on women. So, and that's because I grew up in a household where there was domestic violence. So it was just trauma all across for me. So I get it. I've seen it on so many ends.
This may be a little
James,
problematic, but if you put your hands on me, I'm gonna knock your ass out, woman or man.
Ain't nobody trying to fight your tall ass. The fuck?
I'm just saying, you
These
know,
niggas are bisexual.
I'm not, you know, if people know me in real life, I don't start no mess or no shit. But if you put your hands on me,
Listen, I'm not one of them. I don't play by those rules. I don't care how you look at it. You think I'm about to try to fight? I'm 30-something years old. At this point, if it's that deep, get shot about it. But no.
thinkers.
If it's that deep, get shot about it. But I'm not fighting no bitch, let alone fight, a man, or think that because of, and that's another thing I feel like we need to figure out how to change that narrative of what being a man is and what being like having, manhood is. Because to me, manhood has absolutely nothing to do with who you have sex with or how you have sex or anything like that. To me, manhood has something to do with how you present yourself as far as how you respect other people and how you demand respect and how you take care of your responsibilities, no matter what those responsibilities are. And I'm annoyed that nowadays it's like regular, cisgendered men, whatever you want to call these niggas, they get to like be in the world, not have any real responsibility, basically be fucking bums, but they a man because they're not effeminate or they don't, like feminine things, or they're not gay. So that means you a man because you got a dick and you masculine to a toxic degree. I want to get out of that mindset because that's what I don't appreciate.
I agree.
Girl, that's my specialty, toxic masculinity. Like, dude, like you have to be able to get out of that mindset because at the end of the day, nobody is winning. Like, you're not gonna win within. You know what I'm saying?
Right. And it feels like it takes like the whole community down as a whole when it's okay for, cisgendered men to be complete and other, fucking bums, but still be considered a man. Like, no, bitch.
Right.
No.
You're not a man. You're broken. You have issues. You're egotistical. You have deep issues that you need help with, and no woman cannot heal that.
No.
So we have to get in that mindset as us black, especially black men, especially cis black men. Like, we have to be in that situation where I'm like, okay, bro, get help, get therapy, talk to somebody.
Let me just say this. I want to address somebody in the comments right here. I've been trying to let you make it. But I've been reading your comments, and your comments are kind of homophobic-esque. And I'm gonna let you know right now that I'm not the one or the two. So if you don't know me, my name is Myles, and I do not play the radio. Okay. So let me just say this: I did not say I would knock a woman out just because. That's not what I said. I don't hit women. I don't hit people. Period. Unless I got to. What I said was, if you put your hands on me, woman or man, I'm gonna hit your ass back. Period. Now, I'm not going around, Ike turning women. I don't believe in it, but I do believe in self-defense. And if you got a problem with that, I don't know what to tell you. You just got a problem with it.
So if a bitch hit you over the head with a bat, I'm just supposed to be like, you know what?
You a woman? I ain't gonna hit you. I'm gonna beat her ass.
A bat? Damn, she got titties.
Listen.
I can't touch her. She could beat me over the head. She could punch me, zap me, tase me, stab me in the side. But because she got titties and a vagina, I can't do shit. You out your mind.
Right. But listen, I was just getting ready to go. I was going to go down that road because a lot of this, the boys against the girls stuff, I deal with it on a constant basis here on YouTube. Constantly. It starts all the way back when you're little.
Mm-hmm.
It starts at the home. Little girls are raised that no matter how badly you act, boys are not allowed to hit you. Period. And when the rules kind of change, when some of those girls grow up and they know, and my mother was one of them, they seen all that. My mother had a brother, she had a sister. So in the house, you got some of both. My mother got two boys, period. My mother's stance has always been, I don't give a damn who hits you. Hit them back. Because when I was growing up, a little girl could beat the hell out of a little boy and there was nothing that he could do back to her. And I'm not having it with my kids. If anybody hits my kids, you need to know my kid is going to hit you back. And then I'm going to come outside. And if you got a problem with it, I'm going to hit you. So that was, I was kind of raised that way. And there's been times people say, well, that's just wrong.
Yes, mama.
Is it? And then we grow forth, because there's issues to it. Because again, after a certain age, it does get iffy after a certain age. Like, I mean, some of that takes a different look as you get to like middle school, high school. Things are changing. But at that point, you're supposed to be mature to the point where you're not putting your hands on people anyway. But there are girls who literally have grown on to be women who still have that, oh, it don't matter what I do, it don't matter what I say, I can still do and say what I want, and he better not hit me. He better not hit me. And those are really the rules.
My husband.
Yeah, those are the rules in the street.
Yeah, and I had to.
He better not hit me. I can act as bad as I want, and he better not hit me.
And I had to, and I had to put my sister's business out here, but I had to let my sister know that you cannot go around here and think you can just jump on the man and he don't bust your ass in the face. Because after I drive to wherever you at and beat his ass, you're gonna have to fight me. But for putting me in the situation. I have to, you have to learn to keep your hands to yourself as an adult. To keep your hands to yourself. If you feel like you about to bust this nigga upside the head, you need to leave. Because
I never would do that. Like, I would never hit. Yeah. I never would hit girls first. I'll tear your ass up if you put your hands on me. But dig this. This was my thing growing up. There's the narrative. That narrative building. Mm-hmm. Oh, all you fight is this, or all you get into it with is that. That's a narrative, and I've dealt with that my whole life. But let me tell you what actually happened. See, I hands out a good ass whooping. Period.
I believe it.
Always did. The boys in the neighborhood already knew what time it was, so I didn't have problems with the boys. The boys in the neighborhood that I had a problem with had sisters that did stuff, and they hit me, and I had to pop them. Then I had to get their brother. That's when me and the boys would have issues. Other than that, I really didn't have issues with the boys because the boys didn't, they do this. They call you names and all that, but they ain't coming over there and really fight because they don't want to fight. Boys don't start fights if they know they can't win.
Right, I'm about to say they don't want to get their ass whooped. They
definitely didn't want to be beat. Look, and I've been this all along.
Right.
I was never in a closet other than to get dressed. Everybody knew what time it was. They didn't want to deal with that because I fight till the cops come. Been like that since I was a little boy. So that's when all that kind of started. Now I could have and I said all of that to say this. I could have very easily been one of those boys that, like Bondy said, always has the vitriol for a girl, even when she didn't even say anything or didn't do anything. I am the complete opposite of that. Though on YouTube, sometimes they build a narrative that I'm the opposite, that I don't like girls and all of that. It's a constant. And everybody knows I treat my girls real well. When they roll up on Treasure Lane, you are treated well. I don't start nothing, but if you start with me, I'm going on mute.
Listen, I'm just gonna say this as an adult, it's something that I had to learn as a girl, but also I want to say from growing up as a little girl standpoint, I feel like you always feel like you have to fight, especially like me, being short, being blunt and boisterous, and then having like older cousins. And then to be honest, like I was kind of bullied within my household a little bit. So when I got out to school and all of that, nobody was going to play with me because I had to be scared of my dad. I had to deal with fighting my sister. So like when I got to school, I wasn't to be like fucked with. Like it wasn't, you know what I'm saying? And I'm also little. So in my mind, it's like, okay, so if I can't beat you physically, I'm going to have to pick something up to hurt you. So because I'm already that person in my mind, I'm never trying to take it to that level. Like, especially once I got into like high school and shit, I don't want to fight with no grown ass man. Like, I'm sorry. I don't want to fight with Myles. I don't want to fight with Scotty. I don't want to fight with John. I know that I'm not going to win. I am still a woman, bitch. I am not about to try to fight you. So I feel like a lot of women need to understand everything doesn't need to get to that level. You can get into it with somebody and have your words. And that's why I've always been good about my mouth, because it's hard to read me down, bitch. It's hard to make fun of me. Okay.
Anybody from New Orleans, I'm going to tell you right now, you can't read nobody from New Orleans, period. Don't try. Period.
And we also grew up around a lot of young gay men who whip ass. So it's never like, I don't know a lot of girls that was on that level with the gay boys in school, because we wasn't confused. Like, we knew we wasn't going to win it.
Yeah, it's crazy. It shouldn't even happen. I mean, you're supposed to reach a level of maturity that this hitting thing, when you get... You got to stop hitting, baby, because I mean, I went through the period of you say something I don't like, but a boy. I wouldn't do it to a girl, but I got to a point with boys. If you said the F word, I just hit you.
On go.
If you gave me too many looks and it was a bad day,
on go.
I hit you. But girls, you had to hit me first. If you hit me first, sorry, sis. But
I was never gonna fight. We could argue all day though. When I tell you I used to argue with motherfuckers down in the whole class, hour went by, bitch. We still arguing. And what? Okay.
Girl, I ain't stopped. I ain't stopped.
And that's why I'm successful at this today.
Right. But you know, with the hitting thing, when you get 19, 20, you hitting, it start costing you. And it ain't no 3-day suspension.
Right.
You hitting people, you going downtown.
Younger than that for us. When you go to certain schools, that shit was not allowed. You get in a fight one time and they're gonna kick your ass out.
Right.
You know and I had already got kicked out of an all-girls school for some lesbian shit. So by the time, listen, a lot of things happened to me to where the point where when I was in like middle school and high school and shit, I was a more mature because of all the things that had happened. I knew I liked girls since I was in preschool. You know what I'm saying? I was always like attracted to girls, and like my mom caught me hunching a girl one time when I was like maybe 10 or 11. So like throughout my entire life, it was something that I always knew about myself. It's just a matter of when you understand it. And I didn't really understand it until I got to an all-girls school. And as y'all know how I go down at the all-girls schools. Baby,
what goes down at the all-girls school?
Listen, I had fun, bitch, but it was stressful because they was always trying to out us. Like literally, I got kicked out of school because some girl said that I sexually harassed her because I told her that she was full of shit. She said that I don't know how y'all like girls. I don't know how y'all do that. And I was like, bitch, you be flirting with my friend all the time, sitting in the desk, doing your legs like this, like she can't see you sitting right across from her, bitch. We be seeing you, bitch. You're not like your legs under the desk, but from across the room, I can still see you, bitch. So she then calls the principal in them and tells them I sexually harassed her. I come to school on Monday, don't even remember this conversation, y'all. Couldn't even like recall it. And they telling me I sexually harassed somebody. They called my parents in and they outed me to my parents.
No way.
Like it was one of the most traumatic experiences of my life. Like I literally ran out of there. I was so upset. And then like me and my daddy because I was like, y'all about to throw me out over a conversation? Like I'm at it like this shit don't even make sense. And while they're like, you're trying to be a lawyer, but you need to be trying. I was like, what am I supposed to say to you kicking me out over a conversation that I don't even remember having with some girl that said something, and now I'm getting kicked out of school about it? My dad was so mad. He takes me outside, and I was like, Dad, this is ridiculous. Like I'm in my head, like this is ridiculous. What are y'all talking about? He knocked me upside the head so fucking hard I almost fell down a flight of stairs. Like my brain moved inside my skull. Okay. Same moment y'all are outing me to my parents. Like, listen, when I tell y'all I ain't new to this shit. Like as far as like, having to deal with those moments, and y'all know what I mean by those moments. Right. You know what I'm saying? And it took a long time to get over it. I'm gonna just say that. It took a long time to get over that. That was very traumatic. So fuck you, Xavier Prep.
Conscious and Brandon, did y'all have any issues growing up with like violence and stuff like that? Because I know we really haven't heard from you two during this conversation, and I want to know. Well, I know Brandon has told me certain stuff, but y'all don't know. But what have y'all gone through as far as like the violence and stuff in school? Have y'all even been bullied due to your sexuality or things like that? So Conscious and Brandon, I don't like calling him Bub. Brandon, y'all got the floor.
I guess I'll go first. Okay, so I've been to jail quite a few times, and I plan on keep going to jail.
Well, damn.
When Spill It Boy was speaking, I got to piggyback off of him because so first of all, my mother, like the woman, the head bitch in charge of my life, raised me under the idea that if anybody hits you, you strike their ass back. And you strike them with the fiery force of God when you do. There was an incident that happened when I was in 6th grade, and I will never forget it. There was this chick named Marquetta. Hello, Marquetta. And we were in English class. We were in AP together, and we had got into it about something. She was just doing the most, had a stank ass attitude, and she got in my face, and she started doing her toxic femininity shit. And she started bucking and pressing her chest up against me. And when I tell you that my 6th grade teacher yanked her motherfucking ass up so hard, damn near slammed her into the wall, and literally looked her in her face and say, look, let me make this clear to you right now. When you go to step up to a man, your ass best to be prepared to get striked like a man as well. And so I think what will rectify the issue of gender and violence is, instead of us teaching man and woman, let's just simply teach science. If you hit somebody, that's a cause that will create a fucking effect. No matter age, height, width, handicap, gender, sex, orientation, religious affiliation, that if your ass strikes somebody, you open yourself to the possibility of a effect created by the cause of initiating aggression. So when I have my children, that is what I will instill in them, is the science. Fuck man and woman, because I'm also very clear about this too, especially within this day and time. I don't trust nail motherfucker who want to fight me. I think that, for one, people make too many assumptions about people who are willing to be violent towards you, which is why I'm going to whip your ass. And I don't give a fuck whether you are man or woman, because I'm making an assumption that because you're a woman, you're only going to use your hands, which I don't know if you got a pocket knife, mace, a bat, a gun, a pistol, and I ain't taking no chance, which is why your ass going to hit the floor. You're going to hit the floor. I'm going to dismantle the threat. So I don't make assumptions about violent ass people, because you're not going to get this close to me. All of this is not going to happen. You're not going to get within range. None of that's going to happen. I don't even know how people play them type of games, because as soon as a bitch take an aggressive stance, my brain goes into survival mode, and I don't see man or woman. I see survival. So whatever I'm going to do to survive is what I'm going to do. So I think we should just simply teach science. Cause and fucking effect. Clears that up. In terms of bullying, I don't like the term bully, because I feel like being bullied is a little bit disempowering. I was throwing kids downstairs and over balconies, so there was an attempt to bully me, but I was bullying those who were bullying me growing up. So me and Kaya's mugshot rep sheet looks about equal to one another at this point. And I will always continue to defend myself. So I believe in hitting any bitch back, male or female, and yeah, just keep it simple. If you hit somebody, expect to be strike back. If somebody doesn't hit you back, consider yourself lucky. You got lucky, but there's no rules when you go to be aggressive and violent toward another human being. A human being can do whatever they need to do. to dismantle the threat. That's all.
It's the
Ooh,
balconies.
I don't want no smoke. I don't
It's
want
the
the smoke.
balconies.
Same
I don't
here.
want no smoke.
Listen,
don't-
over
I
the
don't want
balcony,
it.
bitch.
Right.
You strong? like
And
Like,
like
that's,
that?
you know,
I actually hate the conversation. As much as I'll do beefing with you and I'll word spar with you, I really don't like the physical. And people have seen me in beefs. Y'all know what I get. But when it goes, like I call you all kind of names, you call me all kind of names. But when it goes to when somebody's saying, I'm going to do this, and this to you, if you ever notice, I'll literally stop arguing. And it's not because I'm afraid. I stop arguing because we can spar for words. But once you say that when you physically threaten me, I'm really out of words because I'm like, no, it's all ass and elbows from here. So I really do hate that whole conversation of I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that, or just the whole hitting conversation. It just irritates me and it just puts me in a whole nother headspace. And I will literally, oh, okay, girl, you got it. You gonna come and smack me? Okay.
I would just like to say, please don't play with me in this fucking chat. Don't play with me in this fucking chat. I'll talk and say however long, whatever the fuck I want to say in this bitch. Don't come at me in this
wait,
motherfucking
what
chat.
happened?
It happened a while back, and I had
Yeah.
to put on my glasses so I could read it. But
I
don't
see.
come at me like that, bitch. I don't give a fuck how many of my lives you watch. I don't know why y'all think that because y'all watch somebody videos, y'all can say anything to them and disrespect them in chats. I will curse you the fuck out. Know that.
Ooh, child.
You know
I'm
I'm
mad. She said I'll put on my glasses. I was just thinking to myself, I was like, Bondy, when I put on glasses, they look really good, but I didn't know you put them on because you couldn't see.
I knew what she
Yeah,
put
I'm
on.
blind. Thank you.
I knew what she put on.
But I think it
Well,
goes back to
said it,
just.
Go ahead, Brandon.
But I think it just goes back to the simplest rule: treat others the way you want to be treated. It's that fucking simple. It's really that goddamn simple. And if you make it hard to make it a problem, I don't like problems, but I'll be a problem solver, okay? And sometimes when my faith fails me, my steel won't. So just don't do it. Don't do it. Okay? Don't do it. In reference to bullying, hell yeah, I wasn't throwing bitches over the balcony and shit, you know. But I'm short. I'm 5'2" myself, you know what I'm saying? But I was shorter than that. In elementary school, I had a rat tail. Back in the day, you know, them 90 rat tails and shit I had.
Yeah, you my height.
Yes. I'm fun
not the
size.
right
Praise God.
tail.
Okay.
That's
But
fun size.
I was more effeminate as well. So I was with the girls. I had no problem with the girls. The girls loved me. I was cool with them or whatever. But I did get bullied a lot. I did. I got snuck before, jumped. It was this nigga literally named Martin Luther King Jr. that went to my school that was choking me up against the table and shit. And the way this nigga face was looking, I'm like, damn, do you look like Michael? You look like him right now in the face with all these scratches. But I dealt with all of that. It was very hard. It was very traumatic. And it was one point where I was walking to the parking lot to get picked up from school, and this dude was walking beside me. I didn't think nothing of it. And all of a sudden, I just heard this noise, and I just fell to the ground. And it got so bad to the point to where I literally wanted to commit suicide because it was that toxic. It was that fucked up, my experience. But that's why I say for me, it's really about love. You're going to have to learn to love yourself first before you can love anybody else and to be able to practice that love. And it's very sad. It's very sad because a lot of the conversations we're having, there's one common theme that I have seen a lot, which is hurt. A lot of us are hurt, broken, and we don't know how to fix that hurt and that brokenness, which is why we're going to have to start with love first. We're going to have to undo what was done to us. Like, even we were talking about in the LGBT community, I remember I saw a commentary where they had this panel of people, part of the community, white, black, different religious beliefs, talking about, you know, the political campaign that happened a few years ago. And there was an issue where there was a person there that was, I believe they're non-gender conforming. And, you know, they were talking about their experience. There was a trans woman who was absolutely infuriated by this person saying, wait a minute, we're just now getting heterosexual people accustomed to what trans is.
Mhm.
And now here you come saying, damn, I don't feel like I'm male nor female. I'm not, you know what I'm saying? Until we start reversing this, there's
Right.
going to always be a cycle of somebody else being oppressed. And we're too busy playing the fucking oppression party. We all hurt. We're all hurt. And then on top of that, think about it. Yes, we are part of the LGBTQ plus community, but we're still black. That's the part that kills me. It's like as soon as that is known, your black card is revoked. And it's like we know the experience, and we telling you what the experience is on the outside looking in. We're living in realms of duality. We're living in realms of this is what I'm looking for. Intersectionalities. This shit is deep. But this is why conversation is important, and it has to be healthy, honest conversation. Which means, yeah, we gonna get heated in this bitch. We gonna be mad. We gonna be yelling. Might be cursing motherfuckers out. It is what it is. But as long as we're going in a progressive road to healing, and I feel like until we really start dying unto our ego and really start to practice what that self-love is, we won't be able to change shit. Because I'm going to tell you right now, white people ain't going to do it. They already proved it to us 400, 500 plus years of oppression. They ain't going to do it. And they keep telling us and showing us that these hoes got guns. Lil Becky over here riding horses and shit from 46. But trust me, 7 to 9, this bitch Tomb Raider and shit. Know how to do all type of shit with guns. Meanwhile, what are our children doing? TikToking and all this shit. I mean, it's cool. It's cool. I'm with it. I'm with it. But we going to have to learn to do things for ourselves. For ourselves. We're going to have to be the change that we see in this world.
But you know what it is, though? You know what it is, though? I'm always talking to people about Christianity and how I feel like our separation from African spirituality and reverence for ancestors and those types of things, like all of that, I think is connected to it as well, because a lot of people feel so strongly because they attach it to Christianity. And it's like, how can you have such an alliance to something that was used to destroy you? You know what I'm saying? So I go back and forth with people all the time about that, because, and it was even hard for me to like actually admit that I'm not in a space where I can even call myself Christian. Like I don't even want to call myself that, even though I have been in the choir and I do go to church with my mom sometimes, and there's always something to be gained. But ultimately, I think that Black people as a whole need to start unwrapping the Christianity thing from around their minds, because it stops them from being able to look at things for what they truly are versus the bullshit that I think, white patriarchy Christianity put on a lot of things.
Right. But I also think too, like, especially in slavery, like, I think that was the only hope that was given to.
Oh yeah,
was that, and it was like, I guess
and
that
after
hope
that
kind of gave us the over. But at the same time, it was like when you do research and you actually practice and study to show thyself approved. Fuck what a pastor say. See if you can validate it for yourself. When you look at it and you see it, there's a lot of confliction there, because you find out that even in the slave Bibles back then that gave us this mantle that we're feeding now, had all of the empowering scriptures removed.
Yes.
And we were very passive. And I remember, I forgot who this person was, but they said something along the lines of this. When the white man stepped on our land, he had the Bible and we had the land. He taught us how to pray. Once we opened our eyes, we had the Bible and he had the land. And that's exactly what's been happening. And like you said, we have to get back to our spirituality. Listen, I know Myles gonna appreciate this. Bitch, Beyonce is the shit. I'm sorry. I'm not a stan, but listen, Black is King made me feel good to be Black, goddammit. It made me feel good
Myles
to be
not
Black.
like that? I'm confused.
You say what?
The way Myles puts his face on Beyonce's body, I'm so confused right now.
But that's on Find Your Way Back. That's us. We're finding our way back. Just think about it. Like 2020 opened up so many fucking doors in reference to our own personal shit. It was a time for all of us to reflect, a time for all of us to try to understand what's going on within ourselves. And guess what? All the times you said Jesus was saving you, all the time you said God is good, if I can just get to church on Sunday, guess what? The churches was closed. Where's your faith now?
Okay.
Where's your faith now?
Okay.
Where is it at? And I mean, God worked with signs and wonders. You will know the spirit by the fruit. You will know the spirit by the fruit it bears. There we go, Bubz. Okay. You will know that. But shit is happening now. It's a reality check. A lot of people are gonna be fucked up. But see, it starts with conversation like this. We have to talk. We have to talk. We don't know what's going on in each other's lives, each other's minds, until we sit down and be vulnerable enough to have conversations like this. And it don't just start with us. It start with y'all in the comment section too. Like everybody. What?
This comment? No, you're wrong. It's not just the people. It is the literature. It is the Bible. It is the church within itself, because something that was bred in order to cause discourse, something that was given to Black people in order to trick them into thinking that they needed something outside of themselves in order to be great. And see, that's another thing. And I've been like coming to this understanding myself that we are God. And it's not in an egotistical way. It's the fact that I am my own person. I am my mind. I am my body. I am my spirit. I am my own God. If I say I want my life to be a certain way, then I make my life a certain way. But what they teach Black people and gay people and Black women is that, and I mean us, because we've always been taught to keep our eyes down and to, kind of don't be seen and don't be heard and all of that type of shit. They never want us to recognize how close we are to God in the way that we are in control of our own universes. Like, you know what I'm saying? We all each have a separate universe. And at the end of the day, you control what goes on in your mind and in your spirit and in your universe. And once you understand that the responsibility is not just on God. People always try to for instance, I posted about like how far I've come on YouTube and how hard I worked to get here. It's not just because God sent the blessings my way. It's also because I got up when I was tired and I worked when I was sick and when I didn't feel like it and did videos I didn't want to talk about and did lives I didn't want to do. But I pushed myself because I knew what I had to do. So yes, God made a way for me to do those things, but don't take my personal power out of my accomplishment. And I think people do that so often, and we all have to just come to the realization of our own power. And I also feel like, in that is a detachment from this understanding of you not being godlike. Does that make sense? I feel like you feel me.
I agree. And I thought of a question.
Baby.
I thought of a good question or a topic to bring to the panel that I think would be interesting. Because since we, each live somewhat of a queer life, we had to have a moment where we had to come out to our families or close friends and whatnot, or people that are close to us in our life. Did you feel like after coming out and they knew who you were, your authentic self, did you feel like those relationships, in a sense, had to start over, or kind of had to start from infancy all over again now that you're sort of living as your authentic self and not that sort of representative that you've been for the first however many years of your life? Now it's like, okay, so now me as your son or me as your friend, me as your brother, this is who I am. You know this about me. So do you feel like that relationship sort of had to start over, or any of those relationships felt like you had to start over?
Or some might be style because they don't really understand your process and your journey. I remember growing up, like when I was a teenager, my uncle, y'all, put a gun to my head and said that he did just like this. He said, we do not have homosexuals in our family. Do you hear me? So I'm like the first gay person to come out in the family on my mom and dad's side, because my dad's side is from Mississippi as well. And nobody really understood where I was coming from. And like growing up, I really felt alone and I didn't have anybody to talk to because everybody just condemned me. And it really took me years, y'all. Like I'm just starting to grow more into myself. It took me years of therapy to heal from that. So I think when you come out and live your truth, even still, people are still ignorant to their stupid beliefs or, their closed mind beliefs on what they think about homosexuality. So I'm just like, you know what? I'm not even gonna. It's not even worth it. So I have really just swayed away from my family. I'm cool with a few cousins, but my aunts and uncles and stuff like that, I have no relationship with to this day.
I felt like my relationship with my mom sort of had to kind of broke down and had to kind of build itself back up because she thought I was this whole other person my entire life. And so once she sort of figured out who it was that I was in real life, my authentic self, it was kind of like, okay, I feel like at least she was the type that wanted to ask questions. She wasn't one of those that if I don't understand it, I'm going to, attack it and call it something bad. It's like, okay, so now I don't understand what it is, what this experience is, because like someone else had mentioned, like I think it was Scotty, that her mom or his mom only experienced like gay people being such a bad thing, how horrible it is, and so they associate anything with gayness as something that's going to be bad. So like, help me understand what this lifestyle is like. Help me understand what it is that I can do to support you, because a lot of people will not. They'll say horrible things. Like I had aunts and uncles who would say horrible things about gay people, but once I sort of came out, now it's like, oh, maybe what I was saying was actually awful and terrible. They don't really recognize the things that they say and how hurtful the things that they say are until somebody in their family or somebody that they care about is living that experience that they're criticizing somebody about. And it shouldn't have to be like that. You shouldn't have to have somebody in your family to be gay, not to be homophobic. You shouldn't have to have somebody in your family to be disabled to say or hurtful things about somebody who's disabled mentally, physically. You should be able to love and respect people for people. Just because you don't have anybody that you particularly care about that, lives a certain lifestyle that you disagree with doesn't mean you should have anything negative to say about them. So I just, I knew that was an experience that I had sort of having to re-navigate a lot of my close relationships within my friends and family because of the fact that they had to sort of relearn who I really was as opposed to who they thought I was.
Josiah.
Josiah, you all right?
Yeah, I'm good. I just had a moment. That's all.
Okay.
I was about to curse you out for crying on here, making me want to cry, but then I was like, no, let him experience his emotions.
Nah, I'm good. I'm good. Listen,
Because I instantly was like, don't do it. Fuck. Listen, I'm gonna just say, like, for me,
Yeah, because
my mom, my relationship with my mom was really the only one that I really cared about. You know what I'm saying? So like, I had like the fear of actually having that like conversation, even though throughout the years we had all of these back and forths, and people understood, like people knew, in my family, and they had asked things at different times, but once my mom understood, like I was literally in the room watching the L Word, y'all. My mama comes in, she's like, so that's what you like that? Like, she just asked, like, so you like that? And I was like, yeah. Now this when I came back from college. So I'd already, I got a girlfriend out in school and everything. So, I'm about to leave, bitch. This the Christmas break. So I can say it and leave. Because saying it and staying is scary. So
yeah.
I was like, yeah. And she was like, okay. And she said, okay. And from then on, it wasn't something that we necessarily discussed, but it wasn't, treated like a bad thing anymore. So I don't think our relationship had to start over, but I do feel like once she told me she was okay, I didn't really care about how anybody else felt. To me, it was like, my mom's okay, fuck how the rest of y'all feel. And my dad was on some, we don't even have to talk about this shit. My dad told me before I went to school, he was like, listen, I don't care what you do. Don't be getting caught up with them little girls in school now. Once you grown, do what you want to do, but don't get caught up with them little girls now. And see, that was his way of saying, I understand, I recognize it, I'm cool, but you in school, so focus. You know what I'm saying? So to me, the fact that he didn't make like a big thing about it kind of made me feel better about it. So yeah, for me, it was just more so the time. It just took time. You know what I'm saying?
well, for me, when I came out to my mom, I don't think that it had to, I don't think our relationship had to reset, but I think that it made our bond stronger than what it already was because she's way more protective now that I am out, especially to my friends. Like now she's surrounded by a bunch of gay guys now because most of my friends some of my friends are gay guys. So I didn't have to really reset anything with her. with my dad, it made us closer because for a long time we did not have a relationship. And when we first started being, rebuilding our relationship, that's when he was told that I was gay and he had no issue with it. And with my youngest brother, um, it's like he really didn't care. Like I came out to him when I was 12 years old. And, well, when he was 12 years old, I'm sorry, when he was 12 years old, I came out to him, and he was like, why would I disown you just because you're gay? Like, who cares? You know. But I will say that I did have one of my siblings. She didn't take it as well, and to this day, it's still like a elephant. You know what I mean? It's not like it's you know completely strained, but you can tell that it's still a thing. It's not really that bad, but it's a thing. But one thing that really stuck out to me though was a cousin of mine. I wasn't necessarily out, like people knew that I was gay, but I wasn't out like flamboyantly gay at the time. But he did come to me one day and he just snapped. Like he just said, "You a faggot ass nigga, and you need to change your last name." And we don't have that shit in our family and all this other stuff, which was very confusing to me because his first cousin, who was my second cousin, was gay, and he wanted to, being trans years later. There's plenty of our other cousins that turned out to be gay. I was just the only one that you can pinpoint. But you know what I'm saying? You say, you're a faggot ass, we don't do this in the family, and then it's kind of like, oh, okay, At the time, I really wasn't fucking with them like that anyway, so it really didn't matter. But I was like, oh, okay. But then years later, he apologized for it, but at the same time, it was kind of like, okay, I accepted his apology. The relationship is the same. It's kind of like we're cool, but I never did what he said. And I also had an older cousin that was very close to my mom. He when she told him that I was gay, the first thing he said was, "You need to let me talk to him so I can beat it out of him. I need to beat it out of him," and all this other stuff. Like he wanted her
Racism.
to
I just
allow
want
him
somebody
to be
asked like, why do they think that that will work? And I'm like, because of the racism, because anything that needed to
yeah.
be accomplished with Black people was done by physical force. So that's why that's the way, people always want to
hmm
respond to something you can't control with the physical.
And what is the mindset? Let me beat your child.
Yeah, that was
Just
the
send
first
your
thing
child
he
over here so I can beat him, honey. I want to take and beat your child.
Like, what the fuck wrong with
Exactly.
you? Like, why are you
Oh,
excited to beat my kid, bitch? What's wrong with you? Like,
yeah, are you?
who people be fucked up? People be fucked
Well,
up.
I told you I never had to actually come out. Everybody knew before I knew. Yeah, everybody knew before I knew, and it just was what it was. But the relationships, once I got to when I got to the age and got myself together, it's like, okay, well, this is what you got going on. This is what it's all about. I took control of the relationships. So all those relationships did actually change because I took control of them. There was no more, I was more or less treated as if I were less than. That was always the thing in my family. I have a huge family. It was always a he's less than. You go start with Shaft, it don't make no difference because they're gonna blame it on him anyway. No matter how he go, they're gonna blame it on him anyway. He's less than. He's the one that we could go pick on. So once I took control of that, no, we're not doing that. We're not doing that. So yeah, like I said, the relationships changed because I wasn't going for the bull crap no more.
I think my experience was a little bit different from a lot of y'all. I dealt with little bullying, and I think it was because I kind of grew up straight passing, if that makes sense. Like I was, you really couldn't tell. Like you may have speculated because I did have a lot of girlfriends, but I also played like basketball and football with the guys because that's what I thought I had to do. I was supposed to do that. So, a lot of people really couldn't tell. And once I really like I said, look, people used to say stuff in the neighborhood, and I've gotten into fights, but because of it. But like once I made out of middle school, I didn't deal with any type of bullying. I had, I had a lot of straight friends, and my best friend is gay, and we came out to each other in like 12th grade. So yeah, I kind of used to feel bad that I didn't get a lot of bullying when I used to hear other people's story about them, how they grew up, because I'm like, I didn't have that experience, and then plus I fought. Like when I tell you I got to fight with everybody in the neighborhood, that's when I wasn't no punk when I was little. If you say something to me, if you come in my face feel threatened, we fight. We not finna talk, and that's how it was. So yeah, my experience was very different. But when I came out to my parents, I don't think I had to reset the relationship with them either, because like I told my mama and my dad, y'all knew.
People be knowing.
Yeah, I came out to my dad. I'm not good with dates at all, but it had to be about 5 years ago. It had to be about 5 or 6 years ago, and it happened via text message because something happened between. It was actually, we was at the blackout, and I took a picture with one of my friends who came down from Dallas, and he had at the time he had a ponytail, and he the way he posed and like by me, and I put it. I remember I didn't put the picture on Facebook. He did, and this was before I was like out to anybody. I don't even think I really talked about it on my social media platforms. Like I'm very vocal about being gay now, but I was not when YouTube, like people, like for real, I didn't talk about it.
So you mean to tell me when we did the blackout, like your people didn't know?
They maybe knew like from speculation, but they didn't.
But not from like
right.
That's crazy.
Right.
I would have never guessed like that, you were still in that space about it. But I'm meeting the other side of you. You know what I'm saying? But that's crazy.
Yeah.
I never thought that.
I think when I even got on YouTube,
I always thought it was out there.
Oh yeah. Even when while I was doing YouTube, my character that everybody loves, Fat Stacks, I used to be so scared to put those videos on Facebook because I had friends, family who followed me on Facebook. Now Instagram and Twitter was a whole different world because ain't nobody know me on Twitter and Instagram. So I could say what I want to say. I could do what I want to do. And I remember when people started getting hyped or hip to Twitter and Instagram, I was like, oh, here you go. I can't say what I want to do. I can't do what I want to do. But I just remember being in that space where I'm putting on a wig and, portraying this character. What are people going to think about me? What are people going to say? And so I for a long time, I wouldn't put those videos on Facebook. I would just share them on Twitter or, Instagram. But yeah, when I came out to my dad, it was because I took a picture with my friend and he put it on Facebook and he tagged me in it. And the way my setting set up, if you tag me in it, everybody can see it. I don't care. And I remember seeing, I was like, I'm going to untag myself because this looks gay. That's exactly what went through my mind. It went through my mind. My cousins, my uncles are following me. And though they probably knew I was gay, I didn't come out to them. I've never talked about it with nobody. Maybe a few friends. And maybe one of my favorite cousins. I told her, we went to dinner. She said, you have to bring me to dinner to tell me you gay. But anyway, so I remember I was like, I'm going to untag myself, and I didn't. So about 3 days later, my dad and my uncle called me on the phone, and they was asking me, well, it was more so my uncle. He was asking me, it was like, hey, I'm seeing this picture you got on Facebook. Who is this? I'm like, oh, that's my friend. He was like, oh, okay. He was like, where you was at? And I was telling him about the blackout and how it was like a space for Black creatives and this, that, and third. I was doing a rundown. He was like, oh, okay, he looked kind of gay. You ain't gay, is it? And I kind of laughed it off. And my dad, he didn't say anything. He was just on the phone. I could tell that he was very kind of in a weird space about it. But he didn't say anything. And I denied it, of course. And when we hung up the phone, I was so pissed off. I think I was 20, 8 maybe. Like this is like I'm 33 now, so this is not that long ago. I was maybe 27, 28 years old when this happened to me. And I remember being furious. I was pissed off so bad that I sent my dad this long text message about how I was gay and how from this day forward, nobody, including him, nobody would never make me feel the way they just made me feel. Mm-hmm. Like it took me back to a place where I was like a child and somebody, one of the neighborhood kids asking me if I was gay in front of everybody. Mm-hmm. You know, everybody got that question probably. Can I ask you a question?
Mm-hmm. I can think of the auntie right now that did that shit to me.
Everybody, I've been through that so many times with people at school, managers before at a job. You know, don't be offended. Let me ask you a question. Yes, what is it? You know, so and I remember my dad, he was very the conversation after I sent him the text message telling him I was gay and I've always been gay and how him and nobody would never make me feel that way again. He took it very well. He apologized. I remember it being like a year going by and he was still apologizing for allowing it to happen because he told me he felt like he didn't protect me as his son. So I didn't have to restart a relationship, but we had to come to a space where I was true to myself. And then like 2 years later, and all that now, mind you, I still haven't came out to my mom. So 2 years after that, I came out to my mom because it was a situation going on with my sister. Like my mom is my mom from Mississippi, old school, you know, she just turned 59. And my sister is very athletic. So my sister in high school, she was on track. She did volleyball. And of course, everybody know in high school, you have a lot of the gay girls who play sports as well.
Listen, the volleyball games, bitch. Yeah. You sit on the floor and because all the girls got their shorts on.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. I know
yeah, it was so my sister was friends with a lot of her teammates who were gay. So because Mariah was friends with these gay girls, my mom assumed, is you gay? Or are you gay, rather? You know? So when she was talking to me about it, I'm like, we can't be having this conversation. There's no way that we're having this conversation about if Mariah is gay because she have gay friends and I'm sitting over here and I love dick more than draws. There's no way we're having this conversation, mama. So I was like, so
we just gonna let that slap right on there.
Yeah,
he didn't say that.
So I was like, so Mom, you know I'm gay, right? And she was like, yeah, I know. And I asked, I said, how do you feel about that? And she was like, when I tell you she made me so mad with her response, she said, you know, I always wondered what I did to make you that way. I said, girl, just like that. When I tell you at that point, it was like we was talking like homegirls. I was like, girl, that is not how it works. I told her just like that. And you know, me and her don't have conversations about my sexuality. And she don't treat me any different. You know, we just don't talk about it. And I do, however, since I've came out to my parents, I think that's where I kind of felt like a responsibility to use my platform to speak up for the LGBT community, to also check friends and family members who have stupid and ignorant things to say. Like, you can't come around me, I don't care who you are. You cannot come around me in my space and say anything ignorant or transphobic, homophobic, biphobic, nothing. You can't say nothing around me about me getting your ass together like Velcro. And I feel like because my parents know and because they love me unconditionally, I feel like I don't care. Like Bondy was saying, once your mama find out, you ain't care. If your mama cool, I don't care. Uh-huh. So it's funny to me seeing posts that I've made on Twitter and Instagram and Facebook like 5 and 6, 7, 10 years ago versus now, where, you know, like I said, my Twitter, listen, follow me on Twitter. I'm very vulgar on Twitter, but like Facebook is different. You know, I may speak about, you know, injustice that happened in the LGBT community, or Instagram, I may speak about that, but 5 and 7, 10 years ago, I would not.
Myles, you made me feel old as fuck because I feel like everything you talking about, I did on Black Planet back then.
We're not the same age.
I know, that's what I'm saying. But it was like, that was the page, you know, when I was like hiding shit and all of that, it was on my Black Planet.
You know, I never got on Black Planet. I never had a chance to utilize Black Planet.
Listen, all the girls was on Black Planet, bitch, and then they would go. Listen, high school was a serious situation because they was like actively trying to find out who was gay so that they can bring them into the office and out them to their parents. Like they,
I feel like that should be against the law.
Me too. That shit is like it's really fucked up. Like, in the fact that they, I mean, honestly, that school had to change its name because they had so many lawsuits against it because they kept doing shit like that to people where, you know, you paying to go to this school. The school is not like a public school. So you paying $6,000 a year and they're like actively trying to find out if your daughter is gay or if your daughter is friends with the gay people so that she can come and tell on them. That's why they kicked me out. I had been to the office for like several times because they kept trying to get me to talk about other people, but that's never been my style. Like it's never been my style to like engage in that type of shit. You know what I'm saying? And they had girls in the school that would do that.
I want to answer this question. I don't know if this was addressed to me, but it says, what was it about other people's judgment that made you hesitate about coming out? And it was the fact that, to be honest, I didn't want to disappoint my parents. I didn't want to embarrass my parents. Everything that I do on social media, believe it or not, I think about my parents. I do. Even to this day, me being 33 and cussing and loud, you know, if I upload a video and I'm like, okay, what would my mama say if she's seen this? What would my dad say? Like, I just want to.
I don't even think about that shit no more. But that's also when my dad died. When my dad died, I kind of like freed myself of that feeling. But if my dad was still alive, there's probably be a lot of shit that I wouldn't have said or talked about online. But my mom is more like, my mom is my friend. So the conversations that, you know, I'll have on here, a lot of times I'll say the shit to my mom, but child, when I be seeing my aunts in certain videos and I didn't say certain shit and I'd be like, oh Lord, I didn't say that shit in front of my aunt.
And then you know, it's crazy because a lot of my family will watch my videos and be like, who is this? Because I am not the same person I am on social media that I am in real life. Like in real life, I'm more reserved. You know, of course, we're gonna trip out if we know each other like that. But a lot of my family are surprised that I'm as funny as I am, or because when I'm around them, like my aunts, I still don't cuss in front of my aunts. I still call them aunt such and such, aunts, and yes ma'am, yes sir. Like I still feel like a child around my aunts, you know. And it's like a certain respect I have for them.
It's a Southern male thing. I really do.
Because like you don't gain a day. I don't care how old you get. You'll never gain a day on them. They will always be just that many days older than you. So the respect level should never actually go anywhere. Now, should I say what I need to say? But I mean, aunt and uncle and all that, but if they get wrong, they'll be
right.
But you know, my mother be in the bushes.
I think a lot of
my mother sits right in the bushes and be like, "Shut up." She know, and there's times when I make her cringe, but you know, she be in the bushes. There's certain things that I stray away from. I know you can't believe that, but like sexual stuff. I'll be like, okay. Would I be shying away from them little conversation?
You know, like I try to stop, you know, saying how much I didn't ate people out and stuff like that. I try not to mention those things, you know, because I get, you know, I can't stop myself at this point.
To hiding and sort of code switching as gay men, like we know we can be ourselves with our group of friends. We can be ourselves with certain family member, maybe like close cousins, but like because a lot of us are sort of been used to being in the closet a lot of times, like around our parents, our elders, our aunts and uncles, out of fear. Like even after we, you know, fully come out, we still have like that lingering residual like.
Yes.
I don't want
like you don't want to say certain things and
Like,
Yep, that's what
Yes.
me all the way.
I don't think it'll ever go away. I think I'm older than all of y'all. I think I'm pretty sure I'm older than all of y'all. But yeah, there's just certain things I ain't getting ready to get on there and say. I know she be in them bushes, child. No.
My mom be like, you think you can stop just the cursing just a little bit? Like I actually slowed down how much I curse in videos, not just because of the monetization, but also because my mom asked me to just think about it. And I was like, you know what? For you, I'ma try to like clean it up. And when I watch videos back, I was doing the most. I apologize. I was doing the most.
Back in the Love and Hip Hop season 1 and 2 days.
Every other word.
And somebody asked me what made me wait so long. You have to understand, I'm from Mississippi, and a lot of things that I learned about gay culture I actually learned from Twitter. You know, I had no gay representation around me growing up at all. And the only somewhat gay representation I had was my uncle, who passed away. One of my favorite uncles. He was a college professor here at Jackson State, and he passed away when I was like 12. And he never came out to me, but I knew he was gay. And later down the line, I found out he passed away from AIDS. So, you know, it was, I wish he was still here or was here growing up so I could have been able to, you know, have something around me, but I didn't know. So, you know, growing up in the neighborhood, you know, predominantly black, in the hood, you know, and then take into consideration that I had parents who, well, not parents, because my dad never said this to me, but my mama have said to me, you know, if you're gay, you're going to hell, you know, and that's because she grew up, you know, in Southern Baptist Church, you know, dirt road, you know, Mississippi. So, you know, being from the South played a part of me waiting so long to come out, you know, and not having gay representation. The first gay person I ever seen on TV was Karamo on The Real World.
What the fuck?
That was the first gay person I seen on TV. And I think I may have been in high school by then when that season came out.
Y'all didn't have cable. Y'all didn't have cable then, huh?
We had cable.
You did.
That was like the first person I can remember, and it changed my perspective on what gay was, because he was so masculine, and you know, I've always just thought that gay was, and like I said, I was young. I always thought that gay was one type of person, you know, because I didn't see it. It. So, you know, that played a part in me waiting so long, and I hate that I waited so long, because I'm like, everybody knew I was gay. First of all, I knew I was gay when I was in elementary. To be honest with you, like kindergarten, I had an attraction to a little boy. So I just didn't know how to express it.
Can I answer this? Bondy, is there as a bisexual woman, do you find people like Portia who disrespected the community but now is played gay annoying? No, I don't. You know why? Because Portia's bisexual and just not in a space where she can admit that to herself. She is, you know, I feel like women are allowed to, like, you know, be on this line, to tote this line in a way that men aren't. So it's more acceptable for us, first of all. Like, I'm not even gonna bullshit about that. I want anybody to think I don't know that. It's more acceptable for a woman to be, you know, oh, somebody gonna eat my pussy tonight. You know, y'all know that was on Real Housewives of Atlanta. And everybody, listen. As a bisexual woman, when I look at Portia, all I see is juicy ass and titties. So like the lesbian in me is all that responds to Portia. But you know what I don't like? I don't like people who use the issues that we have to like combat their bullshit. That's what I don't like. But ultimately, I'm not bothered by Portia, because I feel like anything ignorant Portia said, like, is because Portia was ignorant. You know what I'm saying? And I think a lot of people said ignorant things. Me, myself, being a bisexual woman, my feelings about men being feminine or women being masculine and all of that type of shit, like, that was an ignorant mindset to have when I had it in like 05, 06, 07. But to me, it took seeing things differently and seeing people and having conversations in order for me to change how I felt about things. But to also understand what you're attracted to is not the same thing as what's acceptable. You know what I'm saying? Because I think people think, oh, because I'm not attracted to it, it's not acceptable. And that's not realistic.
Mm-hmm. Ooh,
Yeah, the Real Housewives this
What's
past
y'all
week
on the
was
comment that's
literally
on?
an orgy. It was an orgy. It was a lesbian orgy. So it was just out there. It was what it was. I was like, okay, get it cracking. But it is what it is, child. It was on 10.
Okay, as far as it really was though, that was the whole lesbian. That was the L word instead of
Yeah,
Housewives of Atlanta. That was
it
that
was
was the real
okay.
lesbians of Atlanta. Yeah.
It was fun.
Ah!
It was fun.
But a comment that's on the screen, I'm pretty sure y'all see it by now. I'm gonna allow Brandon in Conscious TV to start off expounding on that particular comment because I do see that all the time, especially when you got shows like Empire who had the gay character. You have this newer version of Power that has the gay character in there. And when you see more shows like more primetime shows that include homosexual characters, you do get that whole stance of it's too much gay stuff on TV. So I'm gonna allow Brandon in Conscious TV to start off on this, and then we're gonna go around. So go
I
ahead.
mean,
I'm putting
well,
myself back on mute.
if you look at the end of the comment, it kind of answers the question. Everyone needs representation for this reason. That's exactly what it is. It's representation. And I know when I make this comparison, there might be some people in the comment section that might feel some type of way. You know what I'm saying? But like, just imagine how white people felt when they saw us on television or saw us blurring these lines, their representation. And then on top of that, let's take Empire, for example. Let's play around with that, okay? First of all, there's only one gay character on the show. That's a main character. Okay. So let's talk about Andre. Andre has mental health issues, and they kind of cast this nigga to the side, let him be by himself to where he talking to his dead wife and shit. Okay. Then you got motherfucking Hakeem. This nigga fucks every woman that he sees. He even fucked his father's mistress. All these things, but that's okay. That's cool. That's not a problem. Let's talk about Cookie. Cookie is the strong black woman that's holding everybody the fuck down. And of course, because the black woman is doing what the fuck she needs to do, and because she's the one that's trying to make up for what the man is supposed to do, she's thrown to the side. That's okay. And hell, let's talk about goddamn Lucius Lyon, who's Lucifer his goddamn self. That's okay. But as soon as Jamar comes into the mix, then now all of a sudden it's too much. I don't want my kids seeing this. But let's delve deeper into that. As a gay man, I grew up in a heterosexual world. I grew up with my mother and father showing PDA with each other. I grew up watching heterosexual television shows. I didn't see my first gay TV show until I was like 16 years old, and that was Noah's Ark.
Yeah.
And when I watched that shit, I low-key was excited and nervous at the same time because it's like, I want to watch this, but this shit just feels, I don't know.
That's why I said Myles ain't had no cable, because I was like, bitch, I was watching Noah's Ark back then.
Right.
Exactly. But once again,
I've never even watched this show before. I'm probably the only one that never has, but I've
well, you
never
need to get
seen
your
it.
life and watch it because that's good. That's like a standard black gay watch, at least to me. But
Come on, Scotty.
with the representation, it's like it's very important because it's not just heterosexual people in the world. Okay, I grew up seeing let's take movies. Toy Story. You got Woody. You got Bo Peep. Let's take Beauty and the Beast. You got Belle. You got the Beast. Let's take Pocahontas. You got Pocahontas. You got, I think his name is John, I believe. There's always some heteronormative thing in there already in the beginning. They're already primping and priming and say, okay, as a boy, you're supposed to do this. You're supposed to like this color. As a girl, you're supposed to do this. You're supposed to like this color. You're supposed to act this way. This is what a man and woman does from youth. But then when there's a gay character out there, because once again, it ain't just heterosexual people in the world. There are other people in the world too who need representation. Once that's instilled, that's a fucking problem. That's a problem. But guess what? I'm sorry. That's your problem. That's going to be your problem. Because just like everybody on this motherfucking planet, I have a right to be here. My existence is important. I beat out billions of other sperm cells to be here. I have my own unique individual fingerprint to be here. So fuck what you think about me. Matter of fact, you have the grace and mercy and the freedom to believe what you want to believe. That's cool.
Mm-hmm.
But just like Milan said, look, Bitch, once you overstep that boundary from verbal to physical, then it becomes a different story. But it's very important. It's very, very important for representation. And I want to give my props to feminine men and trans women that's out there not giving a fuck and doing it, because these are the individuals who are actually paving the way for everybody else. Because we could talk about toxic masculinity in the gay community. Like me, I can pass as I guess a gay passing man or whatever. But like Conscious to the left of me, he gonna get a whole bunch of fucking flack. But see, I have a privilege too. There's levels of privileges that's going on. But going back to the representation, it's very important. We need that. Continue to support it, continue to show it, because that's a part of you. That's a part of you. And that's why the internet and TV is amazing, because it's used as mediums to be able to express certain things. Just think of T.S. Madison. She about to be on primetime television in March. Do you know how many motherfucking pulpits her name and the people on that show? All the pulpits. So it's important now for us to learn. For me, look, I love weed. It's not because I'm high. I'm just saying. Listen, learn to love yourself. That's the only way. Bondy said it beautiful earlier. You are a God. Love yourself. Why? You came in this world by yourself. You leave this bitch by yourself. So don't you think you came in this bitch with everything you need? Once again, you are what you need. You don't want anything. But we have to learn that. So continue to talk, continue to ask questions, and continue to learn, and put your ego to the side, because bitch, it ain't just about you, it's about us. Okay? I'm done. Sorry.
I want to answer this question right quick in the comments. Is that okay?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Somebody said, have I ever dealt with my male partners fetishizing me because of my relationships with women? And I want to say, not anybody I've been in relationships with that have fetishized it, but I've been in relationships with men who thought they can handle it and they really couldn't. And they said like outlandish shit to me, like telling me that, so I don't know about y'all, but like in my family, my mom kisses her kids on the mouth, like as babies growing up and all that, we kissed on the mouth. So he saw us do that. That's not something he does in his family. So then that's why you're gay, because y'all kiss on the mouth. I said, but my sister's not gay at all. Like, so I've had that like ignorance from partners because of my sexuality, but never anybody that, was able to fetishize me, because I was already kind of on defense to that shit because of the way people accosted me when I would be with women. Because I like, masculine, androgynous women. So if we're walking together, people automatically assume I've gotten, kind of like followed down the street and all kind of stuff, because people are so upset that you're, a pretty girl with another girl. Oh, I hated that shit. You too pretty for that.
Ugh.
What?
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah. Don't you know we only let the bad ones in?
They don't know. Listen.
Okay. Before you go in on Conscience on that topic that that was on the screen, there's another thing that I also want to ask.
Brandon just ran through that.
Okay. Okay, well, since you don't have nothing to say, it was something.
Speak,
It was
nigga,
something
speak.
that Brandon. It was something that Brandon mentioned, and I want to bring this up because Jamar about this. We talked about this amongst each other, and we talked about this on our show many a times before. I think it's the time to bring this up because we have Jamar, we have James, and we have Conscious up here. Brandon brought up toxic masculinity amongst the gay community. And I'm gonna let Jamar start it off and let James and then let Conscious go in on it because Jamar especially has talked about this a lot. Especially in regards I think we talked about this a little bit last week when we were discussing the Valentine's Day woes and how sometimes it can be an issue for some of us as gay men, because of toxic masculinity. So I'm gonna go ahead and let Jamar start off on that because we've talked a bit about this personally and on the show. So go ahead.
Is it like within the gay community or just in general?
Within the gay community, because you talked about it before when you feel less desirable because of the things that you're feminine and you're into the drag queen stuff and all of this other stuff. So that other gays will make you feel less desirable because of that.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
you
yeah, yeah.
can go in
Okay.
on that.
So I had made a post recently saying that basically I felt like my own community would tell me that I'm I'm not dateable because I don't make sense. And they say that I don't make sense because, I mean, to put it out there, and I said it on here on the platform before, that sexually I identify as a top, right? But I get beat, I put on titties, ass, hips, and heels, and look sickening. So by that definition, if they see me looking like that, they feel like, oh, he's portraying femininity, high femme woman. He must want to get fucked. No, no, no. So it's always been so frustrating how, and when I've engaged in relationships, I've always had to be one or the other. It's like, okay, so yeah, you can wear the makeup, you can do all the feminine stuff, but then I'm gonna have to treat you as a bottom. You can't be feminine, wear makeup, and climb my back. That doesn't make any sense to me. So it's like, okay, if I allow you to climb my back, that means you have to let all of that stuff go. I don't want to see no makeup, no heels, no none of that limp wrist girl, yes guy, none of that. You need to wear your snapbacks. I need you to build some more muscle mass. I need you to, do all of this stuff and play this role of cis heteronormativity. And it's just like, but that's not all of who I am. And it's like people will make me feel like I'm some unicorn or some bitch with a third eye because I can't fit I'm not all the way on the one side of the spectrum like Brandon or the complete other side like Conscious TV is. Like, I like to do both, whatever day that I feel like it. And a lot of people have told me that it's just like confusing or I don't make sense. So it's so frustrating how we can't express ourselves or be whatever flavor of the community that we want to be and still be dateable. Like, we have to conform to, if you wear hair and makeup, then you have to be a bottom. If you wear snapbacks and you're naturally masculine, then they expect you to be a top. There are so many masculine bottoms and femme tops out there. There are people with the deepest voice, biggest muscle mass that will bend over and put their legs in the air. Do you hear me? And there are girls with the most beautiful bundles in their head and will sling out a baby arm on your ass. So I want to let that go. I want to let this whole notion of if I put on a wig, then I have to bend over. And that if I have muscle mass and I look like a goddamn bodybuilder, then I have to sling some pipe. And it's just like, let people just be whatever they want to be and let people find whichever. And I know some people have their preferences. I'm not saying that you can't have preferences, but don't shame people and make them feel less than for being one way or the other.
So I'm a person that this is, I can't believe I'm going to say this, but there's something that I learned once I started to come around more gay people, especially when I started. Like I said, I learned a lot about gay culture or just being gay through social media because I didn't have anyone around me to kind of mentor me or talk about this with. So a lot of things that I've learned was actually through social media, and I was one of those people way back when, about 10 years ago, that thought that, if you were masculine, you're obviously a top. If you're feminine, you're obviously a bottom. If you're short, you're a bottom. If you're tall, you're a top. And as I got
Not if you're short.
If you're short, child, and it's stupid, it's dumb, and it's very ignorant. And I was very young and stupid, and it's a heteronormative, and it's toxic because what that does is basically kind of bring heterosexual tendencies into homosexuality. Like,
right.
idea exactly.
Or
So
the roles.
The role
in the
thank you.
relationship. Yeah.
Right. And I was somebody who thought that way. And one of my friends who is a top is feminine. And when he told me he was a top, it blew my mind. And I was like, top what? Top of the shelf? Top what? What do you mean you're a top? And you know, I had to learn that I had to learn, even as being a gay man, that sexuality is a spectrum, and sexuality isn't binary. You can't just place or sexuality in a box and say it's black and white. It's this and that and the third. And I had to learn that as a gay man. I did. I had to learn that. And then another thing I had to learn as a gay man is not to be ashamed about my sexual preference. Okay, so and I'm learning that now as a 33-year-old man. You know, people ask me all the time, Myles, what team do you play for? Are you a top or a bottom? And I wouldn't tell them because I was ashamed to tell them that I like to take dick, because at one point it made me feel like I was weak. You know, it put me in the space that
it's a vulnerable position.
Yeah,
I'm gonna say, like, the physicality of it is a vulnerable position.
Mm-hmm.
So I think when people like see someone who looks like yourself,
Mm-hmm.
and they think about that with it, like that's a whole different picture than what they think they're gonna see when they look at somebody like you. And I think that's the thing that people have to like break out of in their minds.
Yeah. So, and I didn't mean to say it made me feel weak. I didn't want people to look at me as if I was weak. And that was something that I had to learn and to realize that me thinking that way is perpetuating that, you know, that bottoms are a certain type of person or way, or it was just very problematic thinking. And I don't know where it came from or why I thought that way. Like I said, maybe it was because and then I was, like I said, I was young and dumb and just trying to find my way. That too. Just trying to find my way. And it just, I had to learn that, you know, stop trying to stop trying to associate things that doesn't go together. You know, you trying to be this way. It's just
I was just trying to fit into other people's boxes.
Yeah, in other people's spaces. It was a point where I wanted to fit in heterosexual spaces. You know, I wanted to be accepted, and I didn't want people to look at me and be like, "Oh, Myles is gay," and put me in a box or judge me. Now, I don't give a fuck. Do you want to fight? That's.
Well, I would say this though. My friendship with Jamar, little does he know, has made me view things in a different way. Because, to be honest, because I never said this to him, I don't believe I did. But when we first became to be friends, I always thought that he was on the team bottom, because of how he carried himself. Because I knew he was into the drag queen stuff and all this other stuff. So when he first told me that he likes to, when he first told me that he likes to
take
bend
advantage
niggas over
of the situation
and fuck them crazy, you know what I mean? I was like, you know what? For real? You know what I mean? So it's kind of like I was very much surprised, and I didn't understand the drag queen culture either until I started being friends with him. So it's a lot that my mind has been open to because of him. Because, like I said, I never knew that there were feminine tops out there. Every dude that I ever talked to was masculine as fuck, or he was on a DL, or he carried a gun or something like that. But the older
I carried a gun.
You be very surprised. The most hood dudes is the biggest bottom. You'll be so surprised.
Right.
I know this one dude, you know, he on the DL, he's 6'7" and a bottom.
I'm
real big muscular acting, you know.
I grew up in New Orleans. I'm never surprised. I don't know if y'all know, but we've always had like a gay community here. So I've always seen drag queens. I mean, even like with Big Frida and Sissy Nobi and Chev off the Ab, like we literally grew up listening to gay men rap. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the music that we play. So I think that for me, I always kind of had more of an open mind to other people, but I also fell into that same thing of feeling like, well, if I have a son and he's gay, as long as he's masculine, that's all that matters. You know what I'm saying? Like, I would really feel like that. And then I had to tell myself, why do you feel like that? And honestly, I was like, because I wouldn't want anybody to fuck with him. I wouldn't want anybody, because I saw the way people reacted. You know what I'm saying? So I had to get myself out of that mindset, but I would say for the longest, you know what I'm saying? And also it was like, but bitch, you like women that are androgynous. So why is it different? You know, I had to like get that bias for myself together. Like, why is it that it's okay for me to like women that are androgynous, but men can't also be effeminate or feminine, and you know, that be okay as well. So I feel like even myself, like I had to like battle with certain things because I don't want to be that person. So, and I'm also like a self-checker. So like, as the years have gone on and things happen online and shit, I'm always like, am I that person? Let me think about this for a second. And because I talk shit online,
and plus,
I have to, you know.
Yeah.
I'll never understand.
And plus, I'm way more open in things.
Huh?
Oh, I was just saying. Plus, you probably gonna shade me. You probably gonna shade me for saying it anyway. But it's just that the older that I've gotten, the more open that I am with my sexuality, because I really don't play for either team. It's what I like. So,
Child, I feel like a hoe in my 30s, and I don't even care.
I want to feel like a hoe. When am I when can I have my hoe season?
You know what? Let it come naturally. But
what I mean by that is I throw puss all over my husband. Let me like put that in a box, because I can't be a hoe. I'm married. Like,
right.
Okay. But you know, like I said, it was a time in my life I was like, Lord, I hated that question. Myles, you a top or a bottom? You know, I'm 6'1". You know, I'm thin in the waist now a little bit. You know, I'm not as big as I used to be, but you know, I'm 6'1". I'm big and tall. You know, plus size, big and tall, JC tennis section. You know, I used to hate. You know, but now I like, if somebody was asking me, and I talk about it a lot, I'm like, oh, I'm a bottom. I do topish thing. I have top tender C's. You know.
What the hell is the topish thing?
You know,
you like more of an oral top, right? Like more on the oral side.
You know how they be like, oh, you know how to cheer and be like, oh, I'm an oral top, I'm a verse bot. Look,
yeah, hybrid, bitch.
It's too confusing to me. What? Like,
hybrid, bitch.
They be like, I was on a chat.
You threw me off. I do topish things.
Yeah, I do topish things, you know. Even though I do topish things. You know,
why do you have to pick? Like, let me ask that, because, like, you know, I feel like as a woman, I don't have a choice in the matter, obviously. Like,
you do.
I do, but to be honest, and I'm gonna say this. It's cool for anybody else that wants to do that, but I don't want to bend I don't think that's attractive for me to see my man bent over in that way. Now, that doesn't mean I look down on anybody that does that, but I'm just saying that's not attractive to me. But also, I'm not even attracted to feminine women like that. So I'm all, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm a niggerish bitch myself. So, like, you know. But why you gotta choose? Why do women have to choose? I'm curious. I can't get my dick wet, and you know, like, cause listen, taking dick is not no punk shit. That's another thing. I was like, I'm sorry,
and I can't do it. Let me tell you. Listen,
the shit look tough to me. The shit look hard, and and I just want to say all respect to everybody that is a bottom. Because at the end of the day, like, I don't play those games because it's pain. That's all.
Pain, and then these folks talking about some. You can't eat. What? I ain't finna miss no meal for no dick. Right. What is wrong with you? If I got to miss a meal. If I got to miss a meal to get some dick, you ain't getting no ass.
It is. So more power to y'all. It ain't nothing. Ain't nothing. The only reason that people consider it like, you know, bitch made or however you want to talk, whatever you want to say about it, is because it's usually the position that a woman is in. But ultimately, bitch, ain't nothing easy about taking. Listen.
You gotta go to Walgreens, get some Summer's Eve, do what you gotta do in the shower. Lord.
I have to
I
take
will
days
never
off around here,
understand
okay?
that
Okay.
bottom shaming shit. Because guess if there's no bottoms, ain't nobody fucking. Nobody.
Nobody. I never understood that.
Like
The bottom
somebody has
shaming.
to receive.
Like I remember being on Twitter. You know, those of y'all who are from the 2009 Twitter.
Oh
You
yes,
know,
at the peak.
at the peak of Twitterness. You know, being a bottom was an insult. They were, you ain't nothing but a bitch ass bottom. Oh, wait a minute, who you talking to? Like, you know,
Not
it's
alliteration, bitch. I'm here for the alliteration.
it was a mess.
I've never understood why the two things, like when the two things don't have anything to do with the other.
At all.
The drag thing has nothing to do with me getting down. Like I've never understood that. Like it just listen. This person, see, there's two names down there.
Listen, I have
Boy TV
it
and
don't have
Myles
nothing to
Trezor.
do.
Milan
Myles
Trezor.
Trezor has never been on a date.
It's because they equate
She's never been on a date. She's not. She's not going on. This bitch is not going on no date.
Speaking of Milan Trezor, I will say
I wish for the date.
I wish Milan Trezor or Jamar would teach me how to get my nose that small. When I'm painting.
All deception and lies. All you
listen, so you know
on one side and lies on the other.
So you know I've tried, and let me say, I don't know how y'all doing it. Let me just give a shout out to all y'all, because I see y'all on YouTube all the time. Okay? All the time. And I be thinking to myself, these folks must got extra hours in the day. How in the hell are they uploading all these videos? And I was telling my best friend, I was like, now when I was on YouTube back in the day, I would get off work, it was spit out a video, edit it, upload it 2-3 times a week. Now I've been trying to upload episode 3 of RuPaul's Drag Race for the past 4 weeks. We on episode 7. We on episode 7 now. So you know,
like that sometimes
it is time consuming. People don't really. But you know what? I was thinking about you the other day, Myles, because I saw your TikTok, and I was like, "Damn, he is so good at TikTok." And my old ass feel like when I get on there, I don't know what the fuck going on. So I was like, even though I don't see you on YouTube like that, I feel like you're doing what you're supposed to be doing. Those little quick videos and when you do like dress up and all of that, I love that shit. When I tell you, I be sitting there crying, laughing at some of the things you put out on TikTok and Instagram.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Listen, if you don't have time for this, stay with that. Stay with that, because that shit is
Myles is comedy gold. He is.
Yes.
He always has been. Always has been.
So y'all know I don't like compliments. So thank you. Let's move on.
All right. What you want to do? You want to fight, Myles? You want to fight about it? What can you do about it?
No, I don't want to fight none of y'all. Y'all throwing people over the balcony.
I don't like Romeo.
You punching folks in the face just because they look at you. No.
I don't do that no more.
Listen, I know it's still in there.
Wow.
What? I can't tell you last time I got to
a stuff underneath this wig, honey. But no, but the sex thing and the femininity, or as Alex would say, femininity. It has always been the kiss of death. And I just always was like, I don't get. Do you see what I do with this whole thing? This whole feminine energy thing, this whole her thing. No, I'm doing this. But when it comes to getting down, I just get down. I'm 49 years old. Well, I've been celibate for like ever, but I get down whenever I was having sex, and when I start having it again, I gets down. I'm on the top, I'm on the bottom. What I ain't doing is working the light switch. I'm gonna work everything else in the room. I'm doing what I want to do. And I dare you to say, "Oh no, we ain't doing that." Oh yes, we are. Or you're not the one that's supposed to be here. Maybe you're the one that should be working the light switch and go find the fella that wants to get down. Bring him in here. You work the light switch. Because I'm on sometimes. If I want to climb up on your back, honey.
I say all the time, I toss bitches up. because I feel like it's kind of similar to me being like a feminine, little chick, and people are always surprised when I say all them 5'11" tall ass girls that I've been with, because I like me a tall bitch. I'll toss them hoes up, legs over the shoulders. And
Bundy, you really ain't got no choice but to like tall women, because she is literally. When I seen her in person,
they got girls.
I just thought the whole thing was to be feeling good.
When I seen Bondy in person for the first time at the Blackout, I was like, this girl is little. And got the biggest personality. And I be talking like she's 6'3".
You have to. You have to, because people will fuck with you when you little, okay?
Mm-hmm.
So you gotta be on bitch.
I'm gonna borrow that from you, Myles. I do toppish things.
Yeah, I do. I do toppish things, I may eat a little ass.
Is that a top thing?
What? That's what they say. That's what they say. That's what the cheering say. Listen, they got the. Listen, when I was growing up, it was just you a top or bottom. Now they got verse tops, oral top, oral by.
Y'all overcomplicate it, bitch. Y'all overcomplicate it.
That's true though, and it's so many. And that's why it's so hard to date right now, because there's so many damn rules to this shit. I'm like, God damn, can we just?
I just want to bust a nut.
Like? Okay,
that's it. Can we just bust a nut?
Thank you. Hello.
In the gay community, we have all the complications that the heterosexual community has as far as communication, hobbies, just overall chemistry. And we have to be sexually compatible. It's like you can have all of this. I love you, this, that, and the fourth. We have all these things in common, but if you're both bottoms or both tops, it's just like trying to fit a circle into a square peg. It's just like, damn.
Right.
You don't have to worry about this.
You just say the word, Jamar.
Because we just do it all.
It's really crazy. And at the same time, like I said, that I won't date another drag queen.
Why?
That's because I don't want that bitch trying to wear my shit.
But then you can wear yours. But then you have an extended wardrobe.
Yeah.
I wish I knew how to. Y'all understand how much I love drag queens. Like, I wish I could do what y'all do. Because when I tell you, it's like it's an art.
It is.
Like it is
for me.
You would think that I would know how to do makeup because I know how to draw. First of all, I don't know nothing about nothing. I don't know nothing about nothing. I'm trying to come to, because on the two videos I did get accomplished with the RuPaul's Drag Race review. I'm just trying to dabble in turning myself into a drag queen. Right? I look a mess. I'm trying to contour with concealer. I'm putting it's. Listen.
Watch Jamar's videos and it'll work for you. I tell you all the time. Here we go. Here come another compliment. I don't care. You want to fight? But you can look however you want to look. I tell you all the time, Myles, you're beautiful. You are absolutely adorable. So you will be fire.
For real. Like if you weren't gay.
There you go.
I'm just saying.
I tell them all the time. I write it on this thing, probably be over there cringing. I write on top. Like, oh, Myles. He puts up pictures. Myles is adorable. So
and
you
his
can
little
be
vacation shirt.
You'll be fine. Just watch the right videos and copy what you see, and you'll be fine.
I'm so did you say did Bondy just say I'll be wearing vacation shirts? I am finna fall on this floor.
You know what I mean? Especially shirts that be like loose and light. Like I love it. I think it be fly.
Yeah.
Thank you. I really appreciate it.
You don't even need makeup, because there's people who are looking sickening on Instagram, hair, makeup done, and have nothing else to offer. Yep. So the fact that you can be funny without nothing and just be yourself, you already had the girls. Now, I will say, if you're trying to get into makeup, because a few years ago, I didn't know a goddamn thing either. Okay. But I was watching the show, and I had like a natural curiosity and wanted to learn. And for about a year or so, I looked a hot mess. And it wasn't until like I think I started in like 2014. It wasn't until like midway through the latter half of 2016, early 17 that I figured out what the hell I was doing. Okay. Now I know what I'm doing.
Everybody you do start somewhere. You got to start from somewhere.
Now you know what you're doing, because you're trying to get. Jamar wants to my face and shit like that. He talking about you'll be sickening with makeup. No, I wouldn't.
Ooh,
Don't do
Scotty,
it.
you would be so
He
pretty.
gonna get me one day.
You would be so
One
pretty.
day I'm gonna get everybody. I said everybody should.
And then he said, "I'm gonna get everybody." Lord have
I'm saying, look, because there is nothing, and I'm sure you can attest to it. When you feel the fantasy at least one time, because you never know. I would never known what my drag character Anastasia would look like if I didn't find her. I would have never seen how sickening she can be until you put the shit on.
Mhm.
You will never know. Everybody should see it once. Even women, once.
God.
When you like high shit, that's
Well,
not.
just know this. Just know this. I already know what I'm doing for Halloween.
What you doing?
I can't tell you.
Oh, bitch.
pretty.
You know, I'm still not over Ursula, bitch. I'm still not
Oh,
over
yeah.
Ursula.
So
Love
That Powerpuff Girls hymn that you did was sickening,
Listen,
bitch.
I really want Myles to do my costume for Halloween, bitch,
And
because
this
I
the
feel
thing.
like I'm not being creative enough.
Listen, when I tell you I can't sew, I can't do no makeup. My friend did my makeup for me for the hymn. Only thing I can do is reference and put some pieces together.
You do such a good job, though. The Halloween is always such a bright spot for you. I do look for you on my timeline during Halloween. Like,
Listen,
Oh yeah, definitely.
Halloween is gay
I can hot glue some stuff together and make it look like I sold it. But when I tell you I am when I tell you I don't know nothing about hair, I don't know nothing about makeup. I'm like, are you gay, Myles?
Child, I know about it and I don't feel like it.
Okay.
I had hair and I cut that shit off. I said, bitch, I'm tired.
Y'all should have seen me trying to put on lashes. I was like, I'm watching tutorials. These bitches just putting it on there like it ain't nothing.
I know. I can't do it. I get mine individual.
What are they putting it on?
Do it. I can't. I be trying and it.
They got tweezers.
Out.
I'm talking about one of the lashes stuck to her eye like a magnet. It just bam. She did
is
like
a magnet. It is
like, what did she do? I can't do it.
Well, actually, it depends on what kind of lash you're doing. If you're doing one of them like real feminine, natural shits where you ain't really got no eyeliner for real, then you got to be real particular about where it goes because it might look crazy. But if you have some eyeliner, you have some room to move that bitch around. So almost you can just go boop. And for me, don't follow my example with this because I'm one of the ghetto bitches that uses weed bond for my lash glue.
All my friends do.
It sticks so much faster and stays so much longer. That damn duo shit be.
Do you have real eyelashes after though?
They
still
It actually peels. It just peels.
Okay,
it's so much better than eyelash glue. Eyelash glue will tear your eyelashes out.
Child, them bitches down to the mall used to be tearing all my eyelashes out. I had to get an esthetician. Bitch, I was bald by the eyes. I said never again.
Now some of them do become. I have really naturally curly lashes, so I always have to like brush them out to get them out the way.
Men always have better lashes. What is that about? That's another thing. Like I feel like Lyric has better
pretty lashes. I don't know if you can see them.
I got my individuals on, bitch. I pay for these every 2 weeks. Okay, so I keep mine on. But like my husband has better natural eyelashes than me. Like
and when I tell you, men don't care nothing about lashes at all. I don't even know why they got them.
Right? I be looking at this nigga eyes like this is unfair.
Conscious, I have a question.
Well, I'm gonna say this.
You do drag? Do you ever get in drag?
Who, me?
Conscious.
No.
I didn't think so. I didn't think so.
This is as far as you go.
Because look at them. But I didn't.
You already got one heel in the door. Bitch.
I'm unfamiliar, so can you explain what's happening?
Okay, so God, this is I don't know how to answer. Okay, so first of all, I hate you, Spilly boy.
You want me to tell them what I call it? What you got going on?
Yes.
See, I was saying all that going on too. Before, I always do Milan, but I'm a hairdresser. So I would do all, everything but. I just call it gender fuck. I call it gender fuck. You do what you want to do. And yes, I used to work at the phone company and I would show up like this. Not like this, but like conscious. I had hair and, I didn't have makeup or anything, but I wore all kind of hair. I call it gender fuck.
Oh, okay. No, I mean, I was just trying to understand whether it was a drag thing or like that's just the way, you are on a daily basis. You do hair, you do makeup.
That's just him.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Well, for one, for me, it's a style and fashion thing. I think if I had to choose a term to describe myself, probably androgyny would be the proper term. Like there are blends of femininity I pull from and masculinity I pull from, because I am very comfortable with my feminine and masculine energy. So I don't mind finding ways to blend those things together. But I've never had so much feminine energy that I felt trance or that I wanted to get dressed in full-on garbs. Like my masculine energy wouldn't allow me to go there, but there's enough femininity to do hair. Now, there's another interesting thing, because growing up, I didn't think having hair as a man was a gay thing, because I was raised up in a mixed race family. I went to school with white kids, and I saw white men do what the fuck they wanted to do. They had hair longer than the girls. They had their nails painted black. White motherfuckers get away with everything in this world. So when I was growing up and I wanted hair, to me it wasn't girls only have hair, or I saw white boys wear swoops, color their hair. Eyeliner. I mean, I saw the whole gamut, eyeliner, the whole nine. So for me, it was never a feminine thing. I just liked the style. I liked the way that men looked when they applied certain things that were considered feminine to them. And I just kind of found my own little way. But overall, I consider myself an emo kid. I'm into piercings. I'm into tattoos. I'm into the whole gothic, urban, like just that whole like.
Right.
So
and it works.
That's what it is.
It works. It works for you. It works. It definitely works.
It works. It works for you. It works.
I think it's so interesting how
we're talking
the idea, because like he said, he likes to be androgynous, to sort of take pieces from masculinity, take pieces from femininity, and sort of create his own persona. But I'm really like, I'm either here or there. I've never really mixed the two. I'm usually all the way. Like I'm on the Jamar side today, but when the watch cross over, then I go all the way over. Full beat, titties, ass, the whole everything. There is no in between for me.
I basically, anytime you see me, I might have on a girl top, boy bottoms, the other way around. It's whatever I want to do. It's whatever I want to do. I've been here long enough. I can do whatever the fuck I want.
Period.
Whatever I want to do. Period.
So I think I want to recently, especially during Halloween, I like to, because I feel like, and this is just me, just coming into my own. A lot of the times, I use Halloween as my gateway to femininity and masculinity. So a lot of the characters that I do kind of, ride that fine line of femme mask. So, if I do a female character, I'm gonna do it in a male kind of way, but still give you that oomph. But I also want to bring that into my like for real personal, and shit that I wear. Cause like I'm really starting. I seen this boy on my page. He had on Jordans and he was fresh as hell, but he had on a purse. And I was like, God damn it, I'm finna buy it. I want a purse too. And it just looks so good together. And the first thing I was like, I didn't think about, him being feminine or masculine. I was just like, damn, this is a look, and I want it. But I do think that I want to become a drag queen. It's just that I cannot cut my beard. Do you know how when I cut my beard for my Halloween costume, I almost died.
Right.
Baby,
that's a whole other form of drag. There is a form of drag that is bearded.
But I want to be.
Bitch.
I know.
It's not the same. It's really not the same. And anybody that they ask me like, could you put me in? Could you put me in drag? I was like, but I want to keep my beard. I'm like,
Yeah, that's how I feel. Like I feel like it's not the same. Like y'all
you
sitting
can
over
be able
here.
to do whatever you want to do, but ultimately, in my mind, those two things don't usually go together.
They don't.
I've seen bearded queens. I follow a bearded queen, but I just feel like the beard just don't. He be at 80% to me because you got a beard. If I do drag, I want to be beat at 100%.
Okay, well,
I feel like you can't contour right. I feel like you can't. I want my cheekbones be sitting higher than Jesus in the heavens, and I can't. I don't think you can do that with a beard.
Well, you can't. Now, if you want to do glam drag, no, baby, you got to cut that off.
See, that's what I'm saying.
It depends on what you want to do. Like if you're trying to be campy and have that sort of look, it's really you can really do whatever you want.
If I was a drag queen, I think my drag would be more so. I love pageant drag because it's so big and over the top and glamorous, but I also like fashion drag too. So
gotta get rid of that.
I would be. See what I'm saying? If I was to do drag, it would be between those two.
You had to get rid of that beard, then, baby. There ain't no room in neither one of them realms for no beard.
Yeah,
oh my god, I hate it here.
Character work, yeah, but
I have a question.
What's up?
I guess.
Spill It Boy TV.
Yes, ma'am.
You be in my comments like as another name?
Me? I don't know. I mean, I'm Spill It Boy TV. I'm Milan Treasure.
Okay. I was just making sure because I went to your YouTube page to follow you, and I was just like looking at it like, wait a minute, have I seen you like in my comments with a?
Oh, I was in your comments as James Colwell.
Yes,
I didn't used to be Spill It Boy TV. I used to have my regular government. And then I became Spill It Boy TV when I decided I wanted me a handle. I said I needed me a handle.
When I tell you, because I heard somebody say, I'm like, who the fuck is James? Because I did not know.
Bondy, I've been around forever. I've been around.
No, I know.
Blackout and following you and all that. But yeah, I was
been around.
That's fucking crazy. When I'm looking at you, I did not draw the correlation, but not because when I went and I was like, wait a minute. Because you better do it.
Country TV, do you have an Instagram?
I've seen her before, did I know? I was like, had I known, I could have brought my girl here too. But
and don't invite me back over here no more if you don't be up in it, bitch, or we're gonna have a problem. Because I could have truly sat and ate earlier.
I got you.
I could have made me some food and everything. I'm over here playing and makeup, coming to visit you and Scotty, and then here you.
I didn't know.
I'd have been James all up and down, Miss Mother.
Yeah, no, because I feel like I know you. Like, I don't know you, but you know what I'm saying. I see your name all the time. So like, yeah, how you going? I'm like,
if you go back to all your stuff from your when you got married and all your pictures and all that stuff, they'll all probably still have James. Or but they might actually say Spill It Boy the comments now. But yeah, I changed it.
Sorry, y'all. But yeah, I didn't know. So I'm sitting up here kind of confused at first. And then when I went to subscribe to your channel, I was just like, oh shit. that's one of my subbies, and I didn't even realize it. Bitch, what's wrong with you? All right. I'm excited to meet you finally, like in this capacity, because I've seen your name so many times. So thank you for the support over the years for sure.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
I'm actually like when I think
back, James supports every fucking body.
Well, I missed the first blackout because I was in the hospital. I watched you all from the hospital. I was ready to go. I was there. Come on, let's go. And then I got diagnosed with cancer, and I was in the hospital for the whole thing for the blackout. But I was like, I was right there, baby, hooked up to the machine, like, yes, God, at it. But yeah, I've been around.
We glad you made it through, Lord. Okay.
Yes, God. Yes,
God. Oh yeah, she's here, honey. She's too evil.
We are. Yes, we are.
Hopefully, when the panorama over with, we can do that again.
Like I said, James.
Not the panorama. When the Ponderosa is over.
Yeah, when
Rona take her ass wherever she's going, honey. We're sick of her.
Yeah, because I missed the first and second blackout. The first and second one. Shut up, Jamar. But yeah.
We need to do it again for sure.
It was a big deal. It was a big deal. It was a big deal.
That was groundbreaking.
It changed the game. It did. It changed the game.
No, I didn't know. I'm reading the comments. It's like, Bondy, you ain't know that was James. No, bitch. Y'all know I be, y'all know I be, what I'm saying? Like,
And I'm
Brandon
kind
knows.
of, I think about, because the last
Well,
time that
I would say
saw,
this.
huh?
The next time.
What happened?
Go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say, like, the last
No,
time
go
that I
ahead.
saw Myles and Bondy in person, they saw a version of my character that I was not that I look back at now and I was not the most proud of. So I'm excited for y'all to see the updated version.
And you shouldn't say that, Jamar. I mean, it is what it is. Like those are the you will always look back, and you had to start from somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
You had to start
Bro.
from somewhere.
Like, ooh, I see it. I'm just like, girl, what
Child,
was
I be
I
looking at
got life
myself
off
in
of you
old
back
YouTube
then. I got
videos.
life off
Like,
of you now. It's no different. I'm still.
Yeah,
I've been
you
doing
got to
drag
start somewhere, child.
20 plus years, child, and I still don't know everything. I'm still, bro. You look at my pictures from a year or 2 years ago, they look different. They look different. So you can imagine if you look back 20 years, what they look like.
Mm-hmm.
And I ain't saying none of them.
I can't wait.
Hair wrong.
But I guess
it happens. Especially on YouTube
see,
or just on social media, period.
it
We
does.
just
Right.
living life.
So you can't pay
Yeah,
attention to
basically.
that.
Like,
Don't give nobody all that, child. They'll look at pictures of me last week, and I know I was turned, and they'll be like, "Child, that's just ugly." that's
well,
the trolls gotta do their job.
Mm-hmm.
Conscious and James and Jamar, y'all are very much so appreciated. Butch queen like myself cannot do no makeup, no hair, no none of that shit.
No,
I can't.
look, same
I
here.
can't do it. I can't.
Me neither.
I
And
I
I
wouldn't
cannot
pull it
do
off.
it. I cannot do it. Jamar gonna have to get me on the edible alcohol before he can beat my. I'm just gonna tell him that right
Not
now.
the edible.
I got plenty.
My drag mother actually did half of my face.
Y'all are my
and
people.
It was a wrap. I was hooked. Because I kept saying, I know what I'm gonna look like. I already know what I'm gonna look like. Because me and my mom look like identical. So I knew I would look like a girl. That was not a problem. But she's like, "Oh no, you gotta let me do it." She did half my face, and it was. I said, it's getting ready to be a problem in the land."
You definitely give a good auntie vibe. Like, like I'm just saying, like I'm here for it. I love it.
It's a style. I was asking my mama some stuff, but now shit, she's looking at me like, well, damn, how the hell do you do X, Y, and Z?
Like shit. Y'all making me wish I had Conscious TV sitting up here giving me a Leah, bitch. I wish I had a swoop right now to cover my eye, bitch.
Yeah. True. That's all I've been thinking about since I was like, first of all, it's swooped and it's giving everything. You can't see through it. That means it's full.
And
it ain't still.
That's what Conscious
it ain't lost now curl.
That little one eye situation, Annie.
And then just be kind of sitting there like totally like with good posture and everything. Like, bitch,
Mm-hmm.
I ain't even gonna say that much, but I'm cute though. Y'all see me, bitch.
They ain't gotta say nothing because the swoop is saying it all.
Okay. With the light hitting the curl, bitch.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yes, curling wine. Yes, curling wine. Come on.
Rihanna got 24 hours to respond from the era when she had red hair. Because she got 24 hours to respond.
That bitch ain't worried about nothing but her panties, drawers, and makeup.
Shit. Well.
Child, don't ever let me run into her. Do you hear me?
Yeah, because she ain't doing no music, child.
Sure, right.
I love her.
Well,
I feel like me and her on the same wavelength.
Oh Lord.
I'm just saying.
I guess we can bring this to a close because we've been on here for almost 3 hours. Bondy
really?
I wasn't gonna be on here all damn night.
Jeez.
Yeah, but we've been on for almost 3 hours. So before we go, I want to give each and every, first of all, I want to thank everybody for tuning in, first of all. I'm glad you guys tuned in. I want to thank everybody that decided to join and the people that could not join as well. Kevin and Ashley, I know if you guys were here, we still would have been lit. And to
And
Terrance,
Terrance
who could
old
not show up
pussy ass.
because of work. Terrance is still at work, so he couldn't do it. But before we do go, I just want to give each and every one of you guys a chance to say your final piece, your final words, where people can find you guys and all your platforms and things of that nature. And we're going to start off with that is really the reason why we even had this conversation, Myles. So you go ahead. Say your
Um,
final word.
Thank
All
you.
that.
My final thought. I do want to thank you again, you and Jamar, both for allowing me to come on your guys' platform to speak my piece, speak my mind. Um, Scotty, me and you, we see each other because we both from Mississippi. We see each other. I do want to
And we're
shout
both
out the.
Aquarius.
Yes, we are both. Yeah, we are both Aquarians. Yes, that's why I understand why I be wanting to bust you in the face all the time. We supposed to be like this.
No, that's what Aquarius be like.
Yes, like we are something else. But yeah, and just thank y'all so much for allowing me on y'all platform. I see what y'all doing every week with the panel, and it's for me, it's amazing to see because y'all all are creatives and y'all all have a platform to speak your mind and show diversity, and I love that. But everybody else as well, James, Bondy, Josiah. I just followed you right here with the bandana on. I'm looking through your page now. I will get into you. Conscious TV, I'm gonna get into you too. You have an Instagram? If so, I need to follow it. But like y'all are top tier to me as far as YouTube goes. I don't care what nobody will say. Y'all consistently. I do not understand how y'all do this, but please let me know. Y'all consistently are uploading content, and it's crazy to me that y'all like Ashley, another one. I'm like, how in the hell? The show just went off, Ashley. How in the hell do you have this
Ain't clear
That's
that
uploaded
the
out yet.
main one.
already?
She the main one.
That's the old school way of doing YouTube. You
Right.
record as you go.
Listening.
Ashley,
Okay.
he is a beast with it.
So I just appreciate all y'all for always just doing what you're doing to put your content out to the universe, and I wish y'all nothing but the best.
Thank you.
Okay, so
Aww.
is it me since I'm next? In the squares and the
Yeah.
boxes. Okay. I want to say, y'all know where to
Yes.
find me. Y'all know I'm Bondy Blue on everything. But yes, thank you for having me on this panel. I actually really enjoyed this conversation. It's a conversation I've been wanting to have. Myles, I'm so glad we were able to like do something with you because like I've kind of been wanting to do that. Like you're one of my favorite people to stalk on Instagram. So like I appreciate, your energy. James, like the fact that I didn't even realize bitch, I be loaded. Anyway, but I appreciate your energy throughout the years, and I really enjoyed actually being able to talk with you in this whole panel situation. Like this has been so enjoyable for me because I was mad tired, but I've been up the whole time. So thank y'all, Conscious TV and Bubz. What is your real name again? Because I feel like I heard you say Brandon. Am I tripping?
Yeah, my name's Brandon.
We've been on something before on here before. I like you. I really do. Like you give me real good energy. So I
Brandon fine
appreciate
too. I'm going to the
that
Instagram.
too. So I appreciate your energy. I'm following everybody. You know what I'm saying? So, I just want y'all to continue to do what y'all doing and I support y'all and it's much love.
Yeah, this was like a really good
Go
panel. I
Josiah.
really did enjoy the conversation. I thought the conversation was amazing. I follow all of y'all pretty much for a very long time. So definitely check me out on Josiah's World TV. I have content coming out. I'm working on the different world. Okay, where are they now? And I'm also doing live stream every Saturday regarding y'all favorite reality TV shows because a lot of people has been DMing me to ask for my input on that. So yeah, so be on the lookout for that. Appreciate y'all.
Whew, child. Okay. So thank y'all again for coming up on our platform. We really appreciate it. This was so much fun. I hope we get to do it again. I know that I've been following most of the people on this panel for quite some time, but this is like the first time that I think me and Conscious TV have been on the same platform. But I had seen them interview, and they interview a lot of the people that me and Scotty interview, so I came across their content. So now I'm glad we got to meet officially. I'm gonna definitely hit you up because I recognize the swoop. We recognize this. But everybody is a good close friend of mine. So I thank y'all so much for coming. This is really, really dope. Like we have like 200, almost 300 people in here. Like, you know, our little raggedy, dusty little show is starting to pick up some steam and shit. You know, we feel good about it. You know, God, you know.
Yes, it is.
So, but yeah, I love everybody. I hope everybody prospers because I want to see everybody win. And yeah, the next time that we have a panel like this, Milan, we want you back. Because then Anastasia has to meet her so we can both be sitting. And I just can't be sitting next to you. I ain't got nothing on. And you just and look, I'm sitting in the same row with her and Conscious and I ain't got nothing on. I'm like, do I need to put on some concealer or something?
I was trying to figure out whether I needed to go get a wig or something. Like I was like, don't make me pull out a wet and wavy out.
All right.
No, actually no.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
That blonde little buzz cut, whatever that was, that little situation you had for like 5 minutes, I was like, I like that.
I like it too, but I can't do damaged hair. And it was damaged, and I can't do damaged hair, so I'd rather just have none, you know?
Oh, okay. But yeah, that was my little spiel. I love y'all.
Well, thank you all for having me over. I appreciate it. And I will definitely come back and I'll be checking out everybody. And child, Big Brother always be watching, child. And child, y'all know I'm at Spiller Boy TV. Or you could actually type in James Colwell and I'll still come up. But come and see me when I do Kitchen Table Talk with Spiller Boy TV. That's where it ain't too rough, but I might say some, you know, but not too much. But thank y'all for having me. I appreciate it.
Good.
Well, of course, like this was interesting and it was fun. I'm grateful to have the opportunity to do this because I've been on YouTube forever too, and I've been like mad antisocial as hell. So I've been trying to spread my wings and do my share of networking and relationship building because this is a growing industry in terms of being a content creator, whether you are an Instagrammer, a YouTuber, wherever your content goes, TikToker, etc. Like we're all Black entrepreneurs in the making, and we're creating something for ourselves. And so that's really inspiring to have this type of camaraderie. And for all of y'all who want to follow me, you can find me on Conscious TV. That's Conscious with a Z on Instagram and on Twitter and right here on YouTube. So this was amazing, and I have seen everybody's work. So being able to sit in the room with Bonnie Blue, Messy Myles, Spill It Boy, like everybody kind of is entangled and kind of connected in some way. So you come across people in passing. So to actually get an opportunity to talk directly to folk and get that energy is amazing. So just thank you for having me and for all the hospitality.
What's your Instagram?
Conscious TV. It's my screen name. And it's Conscious with a Z on the end.
Okay, and Brandon.
Shut up. First of all, thank you so much for allowing me the opportunity to be on this platform. I ain't gonna lie, I was a little nervous because I am sitting on the panel with some YouTube titans who have really cleared the way and paved the way for so many people like myself. And that's why I really fuck with y'all, because y'all believe in community. Y'all believe in giving back to each other. Y'all believe in uplifting, encouraging, inspiring each other. And I'm just glad to be around such great minds. And I'm looking forward to the next time, maybe taking this conversation and going even deeper with it, because it's a lot. But I appreciate the work that you're all doing. And y'all can follow me, of course, on all my social medias under Bubz the God, as you see my little screen name right there. So yeah, love yourself and yeah, live your best life.
First of all, let me just say this. Conscious TV is the body for me.
Oh, God. Look.
Is that a real tattoo?
I was going to ask, on your chest, is that an elephant or what is that?
It's a phoenix.
Okay.
It's
nice.
See, when I get my taxes, I'm going to go get this stomach cut off because y'all are fine. What is going
on? And bitch, y'all know I'm over here getting fine and shit. Listen, okay. Listen, Miss is still your girl. Get it together.
Messy. Now get up out my business. Get up off my social media. Get up off the social media. Let it go. Let it go.
Why are you looking like that?
Oh God.
This boy is fine.
Mine's wig get ready to blow
You
off.
ain't know?
Y'all
Listen,
fine.
look,
Lord.
that's the one I saw. That's how I knew he was fine because I saw that picture. How you ain't know?
I didn't see that. I'm talking
You
about this
came
boy.
late. Oh, you missed.
Listen, between him and child, let me get child.
I told you, Miles, you didn't hear me when I said he's a beautiful creature.
Listen.
You were supposed to be paying attention, Miles.
Listen, I got to put my Tony Braxton on
Hey, look.
because y'all niggas.
Oh, Lord.
All right.
I had to put my Anita Baker on because y'all are fine.
That is very Anita. I was about to say, that ain't Tony, though.
That is Anita all the way.
I had to put up. You bring me joy.
Okay.
Listen.
Bring me joy.
Listen.
Yeah.
No, don't do that. Combing all the way.
Okay.
I cannot with you right now. I swear to God. I love my.
Hey, Jamar,
Huh?
can we just pat ourselves on the back for this? You just pat ourselves on the back for this shit. That's all I can say.
Bitch, I tell you, if Myles ain't up there looking like he prepping to sing "Sweet Love," I ain't.
Okay, it's giving a
Listen.
whole I apologize moment.
Bitch, if YouTube wouldn't ban us, I would turn on it and do a lip sync.
In exchange for everything
I
you give to
swear.
me. Listen,
Okay.
read my mind.
We did. This was fun. I'm so
Well,
glad y'all.
once again, yeah, this was fun. Once again, me and Jamar thank y'all, not y'all both, shit. Me and Jamar both thank all of you guys for coming here, like for real, like we really do. I work and talk to Bondy and Josiah all the damn time because we do that whether you like it or not panel every damn Monday. But talk to this bitch under me all the time, as you guys know. That's my spirit animal. That's my spirit animal in the sense. And of course, I talk to that one under the fire every day. Just of course, I talk to that one every day too. But James, Myles, and Conscious, I really want to thank you. Especially Myles, because we went the whole night without fighting, and that is really a world that we did not fight this entire time we've been on here. So I just
The
Yeah,
live ain't over yet. Don't speak too soon.
I've been trying to let you make because I just put some gas in my tank. I will make it down that highway to Canton.
But you ain't came yet, though. See, that's what I'm saying. You ain't anyway. Like I said, okay.
Somebody said
James,
it's the
we didn't
Fantasia
want you to come up
wig.
here for.
Don't want me, then don't talk to me.
We've been wanting you to come up here for the longest time. Number one, we've been wanting you to come up here for the longest time, James. You did come up here the last time for my 20K thing.
Yes, for
You came
your
up here the last time for that, but
yeah.
yeah, the 20K thing. You did come up for that, but we've been wanting you to come up here just for conversation. And Conscious TV, thank Brandon because as I before we went live, I was like, well, he don't really know me like that, so I ain't be all up in his inbox talking about, can you join me? You know what I mean? But I keep forgetting that we talked on the phone before, if I'm not mistaken, because Brandon had us on the phone.
Yeah.
Listen, Scotty, we cannot have this conversation right now with this nigga in this
I'm
wig.
gonna say, Carol,
I can't focus. And I gotta pee, and he making me laugh. I'm about to
sorry.
piss
I'm
on
gonna take it
myself.
I told you up there clowning, Carol.
But thank y'all though. I appreciate me and Jamar appreciate coming up here. Tomorrow, me and Jamar will be interviewing Eric James from the Chasing Dallas Retreat tomorrow night. And next week, I'll be interviewing Latrice Rogers from the Bell
I
Collective up here on the
seen
Prelude as well
that.
next week.
I seen that.
Uh,
Do she take Delta Dental? Cause child, I need to go see. when you interview her. Ask her if she can take Delta Dental because I need to come see her.
You know what, Myles?
But let me thank everybody for tuning in. A good time tonight. Like this is probably one of my favorite episodes. I don't like. I think I could. I think Jamar would agree to that too. Like this is probably one of the best shows we have done so far. But thanks to everybody watching. Thanks to everybody that participated, and we shall do something like this again. Good night to everyone, and peace out.
Bye. Y'all have a good night.
Bye.